Last time on Beast World, with the arrival of the Grand Feral to the Crystal Fox Hotel, Vegas attempts to make small talk with his bodyguard, Fahir Korkut, a white bull who keeps his cards close to his chest. After some time, Fahir leaves the hotel, followed by Vegas, who notices Fahir is also being followed by several Vulpin on the rooftops. Vegas follows the bull all the way to the Center Street Bank, where he disappears inside. He decides to wait there for a moment while Vanya catches up, scouting along the rooftops. After several hours, Fahir doesn't re-emerge from the bank, and the two decide to call it for the night. Meanwhile, Iset is startled awake by the sounds of Veronica screaming. Veronica having suffered through a nightmare about her time in the Invader War. She mentions some of the details she went through to Iset, and eventually feels comforted enough to return to sleep. The party gather the next morning and share what Vegas saw last night, and start developing conspiracies about what the Ferals may be up to. While they are talking, Stormsong sends a message to Vanya letting them know that their items are ready. The group decide to head over to Stormsong's Emporium to pick up their items, a new set of 4 linked sending stones, Vegas' new ring, and a secret item for Aspen. Vanya also inquires about acquiring a few more sending stones if possible to get a full set for them all. With their new items acquired, our Delvers decide to head to Springbok's flight to do some scouting. There, they find a local hostel that provides them with a safe place to stay for the night at no charge. Before eventually the rest of the party split off to do some reconnaissance throughout the city. Vegas, Aski, and Aspen end up at a local Bethel where food is being served out for free amongst the locals and various pilgrims. Aski eventually splits off to find points of elevation to survey the city. Meanwhile, Charlotte and Vanya wander the city looking for signs of a place where the Ferals might be gathering, but have no such luck. They do stumble across an older brethren, though, who shares his love of music with the two, as well as his vast collection of old coins. Iset and Veronica go out to eat, resorting some of their time here for a lunch date. Iset's eyes, though, catch sight of an old fort, which Veronica says has been decommissioned since the war ended. After their meal, they decide to check it out, giving it a short walk around, discovering that the fort has been acquired by none other than the Thieves' armies, with their banners hanging on the outer walls and 2 guards posted at the gate. The party gather once more, a short distance from the fort, deciding that they want to get a quick peek at what the Thieves' army might be holding in store. Now, we're gonna go to a different map.
Uh-oh.
Hey, that's me.
Yay.
Okay, so, last I recall, Aski and Vanya were scaling the south side of the fort, with Aski carrying, I believe, one of Vanya's grapples, so that they could more easily climb up the top, as well as casting a Spear of Shadow at the top as well to prevent any notice of their approach. And there was also mention of Vegas possibly... Hold on.
Yeah, I was preparing to walk right in.
Mention of Vegas possibly going up to the guards at the front. As far as I'm aware, the rest of the group was hanging back, unless that has changed since then. I'm going to assume not. Okay, so Vegas, would you have waited for them to start scouting before you go in? Or?
Yeah, I would have waited. Also, could you ping the direction that I'm supposed to be heading? Got it. Okay, just making sure.
Yep. Okay, so Iski and Vanya, you begin to scale the wall. with the skis' help and their spider climb, they do eventually reach the top. The individual like fortifications that go around the wall are pretty bare bones. That's not super interesting in any dynamic. There's not like a lot of like areas for like archery or anything like that. There's a couple entrances that lead down. They are more on the northern side. From your quick survey of like the entire rooftops, because you can see the area pretty well, there does not appear to be any guards up here at this time.
Well, that's awfully convenient. And let's use this minute of cover that we've got and to get up onto that wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you settle up onto the rooftop wall. You do hear sounds of movement coming from the courtyard below. Would you like to take a peek?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, please.
Okay. I'm going to place your tokens in a very specific way because there's not a rooftop version of this map. So just assume that you are up on the wall.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh, no.
So, as you peek over into the courtyard to get a better look at the commotion, you can see a very ominous sight. There are definitely ferals here. So many ferals. You can see on one far end, there are many of them lined up in sort of like a military-style formation, and they seem to be being given instructions of some kind. You can also see some more that seem to be more leisurely hanging out, and another one who is currently actively training on one of the training dummies in the courtyard.
This one here.
Mm-hmm.
Have we seen that guy before? Do we recognize, like, the...
Give me a perception check. Or an insight.
Oh boy.
Oh my fuck. Every single perception check I roll is dog shit. I have expertise.
Welcome to my world.
Teetering off the 18 story of my life.
Trying to get a better look from this distance, and with their back being to you, kind of hard to tell.
Okay.
You would need to navigate around.
If it's just like me actually like thinking the token looks familiar, then that's a different thing than Vanya potentially recognizing the. I am gonna try. Are there any windows at this height, or is it all like lower down?
There are no windows up on this floor.
Okay. And are any of these wearing what I would assume are like Thieves' Army colors, or?
Nope, they're wearing their traditional feral colors and masks.
The brown trenches and.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Gonna
In
turn
fact,
to ski.
with a very good glance over and taking time to get a head count of the individuals, you don't see any Thieves' Army in here.
Right. I'm gonna turn to ski and voice a speech. Should we send things down to Vegas? This looks bad.
She just kind of nods. They probably shouldn't blow their cover too soon. Also, over here we've got like another like one of the towers of the fort, and that goes up like higher than these walls. Question mark?
Part of it does, part of it doesn't. There's no direct access to like the interior from this side though. You would also technically
no,
not see into any of these windows here because you were elevated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not asking about that. I'm saying a ski would want to see about just sneakily spider walking all the way up to the top of the tower.
Ah, you can do that. It wouldn't change your vantage point too much.
I don't figure it would, but it'd be good to just be able to see all of the walls, you know?
You should be a bit more out of sight too up there.
Yeah, the main point of entry into the fort from the rooftops appears to be on the far northeastern tower.
Right, okay. So it's one way up onto the walls, and then the other
Yep.
tower is sort of there to. You have to patrol over to it, okay. That makes sense. I honestly think while while sending Stoning to Vegas, just as quietly as I can, abort, move, get out of there. Ferals everywhere inside, and just climbing down the wall, taking the grapple with me if I can, or waiting for a ski to rescue the grapple hook on the way back herself.
I see. I just want to peek around the corner just to confirm that with my eyes, but I am going to
Okay.
relay that to my closest gang members, saying we're getting out of here. There's ferals everywhere in there.
Charlotte and Set and Vegas were the one. Ski were the ones with the other sending stones. Actually, shit, I should have thought about that. So you didn't actually get that, Vegas.
Oh, okay then. Never mind.
That could have been passed to Charlotte or one of the others who
Oh,
are
true.
nearby. Especially if Vegas was going to at least wait a moment for you all to, like, do a bit of scouting.
I'm getting out of dodge. Gonna communicate to them as well. We're getting out of here.
Alright. Vegas, were you doing anything in particular before you leave?
Nope. I don't want to chance it. Like, I don't know. Vegas to Vanya, do you want me to at least poke my head in? I'm associated with the Thieves' Army, technically.
They're not thieves, aren't me? She's just down here now, near the well.
Ah. I mean, you know, potato situation, right?
If you want to risk it, sure, but do it carefully.
Are we looking for information right now, or should we just leave?
Well, this is definitely where they're meeting, right? We should leave.
Okay.
We know where they are, and now at least I am aware of the easiest point of entry that we might be able to take on the night of. Unless they plan on talking of any of their big speech beforehand. I mean, this is all we're going to be able to learn for now.
And the other notes about the building?
Only one way in from the towers, which is the one Aski was talking about.
Right.
And then the gates. But it looked like the courtyard is the only way in with window access. Otherwise, I'd have gone in myself a little bit more. But
That's alright.
yeah, no, that place is crawling with them. Whether or not they're keeping the banners up to misdirect or not, I don't know. But it feels like a misdirection. You could always try at the gate and see what they say. They'll probably turn you away at worst.
Maybe later. I don't like the feeling of this.
Okay.
Especially when I'm bound to show up, you know, on the day this is all due.
Oh, so fair.
Let's get out of here.
Yep.
Alright.
It was the western tower you said at the entry.
Northeastern tower has the entry.
Northeastern, okay.
For the rooftop, that is. The main entrance to that building, though, is on the eastern side, just south of that tower.
Okay.
Okay. So, meanwhile, Ignatius.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi. So, uh, from the last session, I had you return back to the order of weights and measures for the moment, with some maybe attempts at trying your hand at some better stealthy approaches. Go ahead and give me 3 stealth checks.
Oh boy. Okay. Does that come with a disadvantage?
That's because of your armor.
But I remove the disadvantage.
Nope, you would still keep it. The goal is to teach you how to be stealthy with this.
Well, that's a 2, baby.
All right, give me 2 more.
Ooh, very good.
Okay. Lucky
Improvement.
13s, I guess. Nice.
All right. So, the matron of the order hall gives you several lessons. They have sort of like a more darkened chamber beneath the order hall in which they use to practice a little bit of stealthing. You're essentially trying to avoid being seen by other paladins of the order, none of which are using any types of like enhanced senses. Your first attempt to go through, you are caught almost immediately and told to try again. On your second attempt, you get much further than you were expecting, getting a little bit of a gauge on where some of the paladins are located within the halls. But you do eventually get caught again, but you're given a little bit more of a congratulations, in that you got much further than they were expecting you to on your second attempt. And with a little bit of that confidence, you go into the third attempt and get seen right away as you straight up bump into another paladin. So there is mark for possibility, but you will need more practice.
I mean, hey, the only way is up when you're at rock bottom.
Yeah. But they are impressed. You didn't completely bunce it.
I'll settle for that.
This will take a decent amount of your time. Once you return back to the surface of the order hall, what plans would you have while your friends are over in Springbok's flight?
Probably some information gathering, schmoozing around, bumping elbows with people, seeing what's going on in regards to the Ferals and Treyarch. See if I can still leverage some from the bloodline.
All right. Let's see. Give me an investigation.
All right, let's hope to God this one works. Well, it's not awful.
It's not super great either, unfortunately. You mosey around trying to find any bits of information on the Trade Lord and struggle to come up with any immediate sources. It's possible you could peruse around areas that the Trade Lord frequents, or you could potentially go and talk to people who have possibly more information, like Aziza. Is up to you what you would like to approach with.
Getting in touch with some folks who might know stuff, info brokers, that sort of thing.
So most likely Aziza then, since they're the one
Aziza,
you're
yeah.
more familiar with.
Also the only one that he actually knows at this point, given how long it's been since he's been.
So, you head to the Crystal Fox Hotel. You were greeted by Lorenzo at the desk, and you know where the Madam's parlor is. And as you head up, the Jackal Zahir greets you, gives a little bit of a bow, and opens the door for you. The Madam's been expecting you. She had a feeling you'd be back.
I suppose that's why I'm here then.
Excellent. She's just down the hall.
Ignatius will plod his way over to her with little pomp for the matter, just here to do business.
You head towards the sort of like large meeting area that the rest of the party first met Aziza in, which you were not present for, I believe, at the time. But the very long table with the gold dragon sitting at the far end and the small golden kobold sitting in her lap, just enjoying a light snack. Ah, Ignatius, there you are. Had a feeling you'd be by here before too long.
Had to come around to it at some point. Figured it might as well be on a nice casual day, no pressing circumstances.
Well, we will see how that turns out. What can I help you with?
It's been a while since I've been in Pristana. I want to be on the up and up in what's going on. I want to know about Treyarch. I want to know his dealings. I'm quite blind at the moment, and I would like to have some information to go off of. I'm not great at footwork, so I figure I'd come to an expert.
I'm glad you considered me for such an honor, then. Well, what specifically about Treyarch's dealings are you looking into, besides the obvious feral route?
Well, it is entirely possible in the foreseeable future that I'm going to be bumping into him, and I would like to know how best to get in the bastard's good graces. I want to be able to talk about his business and know what I'm doing, or at least pretend to know what I'm doing.
That could potentially be difficult. His dealings with your family are probably the most pressing matters for you. He deals directly with your mother.
It's not surprising to hear.
Yes, Revelia is, quite adamant in her deals that she conducts with the Trade Lord. Maximilian is sort of the envoy that she uses him for. They
Right.
definitely have quite the operation working out of Trisoli, though.
There's all these the silver mines that they made a port in, right? Just confirming.
Yes.
Right. I'm looking for an angle on how best I can leverage that. Because we have the captain, the admiral, down with this newfangled ship eventually that is going to cause a whole heap of problems, I imagine.
And you speak of Commodore Benson Crowley.
Yes, Commodore, not Admiral. Rank means little when it's that high up.
Yes, well, that... Mr. Crowley is a very spiteful man. Very, short-tempered.
Tragically, he seems to have taken a liking to me.
That's very unfortunate for you.
I can at least use it in my favor if I'm to meet him again, which I'm most likely going to be doing soon.
Well, I feel bad for you needing to be within his presence.
But
He is,
the things we do.
Yes. he has spent a lot of his time as a Navy admiral who was out hunting pirates. Though once the war concluded and he did not return to the Navy, he was considered AWOL. So he is technically wanted in Vigno for desertion.
I feel like that's given his position, I don't feel like anyone's going to press that issue too hard.
Yes, he unfortunately has plenty of manpower and firepower to back that up. So arresting him is not easy, especially since he spends almost all of his time at sea and does not prefer to stay on shore.
But the Commodore is technically wanted, and he will be going on land for dealings eventually, I presume. That could be. Why does these bastards be so slippery? Uh, any anything else you think you can offer me that would be of use?
Mm. Word has it, one of the Pharaoh's more esteemed prowlers were killed recently. You wouldn't have anything to do with that, now would you?
Probably gonna require deception.
You gotta actively deceive.
I'm gonna say he's gonna do it poorly on purpose.
Okay.
He's
I
gonna
could
say,
make Aziza roll insight if you want me to.
you
If
know
you
what?
if
I'm gonna say Ignatius lies, but he knows she's gonna catch him on it.
yeah,
Christ
oh yeah,
alive.
yeah, there's no way.
Fear their portents.
Son of a
Oh
bitch.
wow. Interesting. Okay. Well, even though she did get a 30, you did roll your highest possible. So I will say she has trouble reading you to a degree.
I personally had nothing to do with his death.
Well, his body washed up on the shores near Port Venture, or Port Ventura, I should say. Which
I'm
is
looking at this out of character. That is a very long way to drift. Damn.
yeah.
Well, that's a relief to hear. It's nice to hear good news every now and then.
It does mean that their operations over there are on very high alert. A prowler getting killed tends to send them up in arms. It doesn't happen very often.
That would probably have ramifications here, wouldn't it?
They've attributed it to another Brotherhood attack, as it were.
Right, that makes sense.
Well, the Trade Lord spends most of his time when he is here at the Center Street Bank, discussing matters with other Trade Lords, trying to get into their proposals, though they tend to personally make sure that I stay out of their business, as nosy as I like to be.
I can understand why. So, what was the name of the bank?
The Center Street Bank, the largest one located on the 7th Canal.
Right.
It's a little bit too bougie for my tastes.
Too much gold in the woodwork. I might have to see about running into him there. Get myself known before anything else. That is a useful tidbit of information, though. What is this man like? Is he cruel? Is he a bastard? Or is he some sort of prostrates himself as a gentleman?
Drake tends to keep himself pretty well composed. He is hard to anger, which seems surprising. Getting him angry would be quite the feat.
Interesting.
He speaks matter-of-factly, as if he knows everything. But he often will back it up with some perspective of his. You should be very careful telling him lies, though. If he sees through one, he will see through the rest.
That is useful to know. Right, I should probably be getting back together with the rest of the group. I left them to their own devices, and frankly, it's been too long without hearing from them. It's usually a bad thing.
I imagine they're up to no good, as they always are.
Regardless, it has been a pleasure to see you again.
Of course. If you still require any of my services, Ignatius, you just have to drop by.
Of course. I might be back in the near future, depending on how this venture goes.
Well, don't keep me waiting. And she just gives like a flirty wave to you.
Ignatius will give a little nod and a wink, and be on his way.
Alright. So, with your new knowledge in hand, where would you like to go?
It is really tempting to just walk into the bank and angle that Treyarch in anticipation of some meeting.
You would have gathered from the rest of the party that his bodyguard had headed to the bank the other night and did not come out, even after they waited well past midnight for him. Also, you would have known
Intriguing.
about the Vulpins that were also stalking the bodyguard from the rooftop, unsure of whose alignment that they may be associated with.
Yeah, sure, why not? We'll just third party them. Um, yeah, Ignatius will. This is probably a bad idea to do this without letting anyone know.
You do have
Almost
a
certainly a
sending
bad
stone
idea.
that connects directly to Aspen at the moment.
Indeed.
If I remember correctly. Let me double check your sheet. I moved the sending stones around so much. Should have one.
It is not in my inventory from what I can see.
You may... I think maybe Vegas and Aspen have the soul sending stones then.
Mm-hmm.
That looks right. Yep. So, unfortunately, you are without stone.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Ignatius is a brazen, but not that brazen. He's gonna step back and wait to reconvene with the party.
Okay. Would you just wait by the ferry where you had seen them depart?
Yeah, he'll, I don't know, hook up at a tavern, get something to drink and a bite to eat, and wait.
Okay. So, the rest of you, where do you go after your terrible discovery at the fort?
It's night, right?
The nightfall is happening. It's
So
getting dark
probably,
quickly.
I'd say back to the hostel and then back over to Pristana after
Yeah.
when morning hits.
Okay. So, you...
Unless people have more to do here.
No?
No, there's nothing else I have in mind.
Okay. So, you all retire for the night at the hostel. Ignatius, the last ferry comes over to Pristana, and you realize that the party have not returned yet. Would you stay at this tavern, or would you go back to the hotel that you had acquired with Charlotte and the ski?
Waiting here. But then the hotel has good pillows. But waiting here seems more prudent. But the
You also know
hotel's
that the
got
next.
linen.
You also know that the ferry's not going to be coming back till the morning either way. So worst case scenario, you can just come back down here and continue your wait.
Oh yeah, he's gone.
All right. So you return to the hotel and retire for the night. And everyone can go ahead and take a long rest if needed.
Yippee!
No, but I do it for maintenance reasons anyway.
I love sleeping.
All
Sleep
right.
makes me feel good.
So
Let
then,
me tell you something.
An invisible bed.
I ain't afraid of no sleep.
I'm afraid of no bed.
Let me tell you something.
God. All right. So, you all awaken in the hostel. You are provided a complimentary breakfast that is sort of like a hotel kind of like bar situation where you can just basically grab what you want. I imagine you will eat rather quickly as your goal is to head back to Pristana.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
can't really stay here long.
All right. So first ferry out of the docks in the morning.
Try and get Aspen back on the boat.
There is much grumbling.
Having to herd them.
Something like that.
Aspen.
Vegas has his head over the side of the railing. Like a dog at a window.
Aspen later having to find out that they have to come back this way.
Really putting them through their paces.
Shh, it's fine.
Alright, so 4 hours pass, and eventually you arrive to Pristana right at noon. Ignatius, would you basically just gone back down to the same tavern and waited?
Oh yeah.
Alright, well, the first ferry of the day arrives right around noon, which was a time you probably would have acquired just from conversing with some locals who have gone back and forth between Springbok's flight. The ferry keeps a pretty tight schedule. The first ferry from here to Springbok would have left about 8 that morning. So, the first ferry arrives, and your friends depart from it with Veronica in tow. The party has reconvened.
Hey, Iggy.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope your venture was an enjoyable one.
We found where they're meeting.
Oh, well, that was fast.
We aren't able to get too much information out of it, but we have a confirmation of one of their locations.
One of?
I don't know. They could have more. I imagine they're not just all gonna huddle and. They've been in there. We found them inside one of the old forts.
It had Thieves Only banners on the outside.
That makes sense.
I was gonna
cover.
try and walk in because of my status, but it's crawling with ferals, says those two.
Crawling is a polite term. Yeah.
Yeah,
At
you
least
stopped them from doing
15.
that, right?
16. No, we stopped before even thinking of going inside.
Okay, that's a relief and a bit of a surprise. Good to hear, though. I
There's a slight squinting of eyes, like, do you really think I'm that dumb?
Do you want them to answer that question?
Look, I'm just saying, as a group, the overall IQ tends to lower. This is not exclusive to. You get me.
There is arm folding across chest at this point.
Regardless, I've talked with some folk, and I think it might be best if I make introductions with Treyarch, or at least one of his associates.
Are you sure about that?
What? That was the whole plan. Remember that.
Yes, but I mean, just beforehand.
I think waiting for the Admiral at the very least might be a better idea.
If you believe so, I am more than eager to go along. I was merely
Unless you
proposing a
have
thought.
some sort of
Plan? No.
a way in with Treyarch?
Well, I was probably dumb, but I was just thinking of stumbling into one of his friends on the street, the Main Street Bank along the 7th Canal. Hang on, wait. Center Street Bank, apologies.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was his bodyguard that went there. I don't think Treyarch left the expensive place.
Right. Yeah, then meeting with the Commodore as well would probably be for the best.
Well, I mean, if you think you've got a way to start talking to him without him going, "Who the fuck are you? Get away from me," then go for it. But
He has dealings with my mother. He will most likely know who I am by proxy.
that's worrying.
I've been absent from family matters for a remarkable period of time. Truth be told, I'm fairly certain any silver dragon could walk up to him and say he's me.
The question is, does the feral that got away in Dole have any direct connections to the Grand Feral? Because if he did, you're already kind of shit out of luck when
Compromised,
it comes
yes.
to your disguise there.
Unless you're able to wiggle your way out of it.
We need a cover story. Why was I seen with this group?
We were investigating something and you were along and you didn't know the full picture.
You're a double agent.
I didn't know the full picture, which is why I broke contact with you when we entered Aurea.
Assuming we haven't been seen together since we arrived here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we're out in the middle of a dock. Shall we get somewhere a bit more quiet?
Yes.
Probably for the best.
Yes.
Please.
Where would you like to go?
Definitely not the Fox.
The other hotel?
Yeah.
The Notel Motel?
Yeah.
All right. You return to the more quaint hotel with your full party and Veronica. It's a bit more of a tight fit. Not as much space between the 8 of you.
It's fine, I'm like a quarter of a person, it's okay.
Though I will say, on the way over set, Veronica will kind of lean over to you for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is exactly any of my business. I don't have as much of a stake in this as all of you do. Perhaps it's best I just go back to the apartment for now.
Ah, that's fair of you. Just do stay safe, okay?
I'm sorry, I'm gonna insight check that.
Likewise. Oh, motherfucker.
Screw it, I will too. Die.
Yeah, she seems genuine. She just doesn't feel, based off the interaction that you guys had at the fort last night, she kind of felt like this was a little bit kind of over her head.
All right. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything and just
Can't blame her.
So yeah, she
wait
gives
for her
you
to
a
leave.
quick peck on the cheek. She
Yeah,
says,
I was gonna say like Ethan was gonna send her off with a kiss, but
"Well, when you get this all sorted, just let me know. We can
I would.
continue our little vacation here,
Mhm.
or I have to go
Promise
back to
when we're
Louvain."
Yeah,
done with all this, we'll make sure you two get some time.
That
we
would
did
be
kind of ruin our date over this. Yes.
Awkward smile.
Well, sorry.
just make sure you be careful.
I'll make sure it's staying with these things. You know.
And she returns to her apartment. The rest of you arrive at the hotel. So, what would you like to discuss?
Pile into the room like a
Game
clown car.
plan.
Okay, so Iggy, Vegas, we said
Yeah.
you two were gonna go into the actual talk to hear the whatever this meeting is about, if they even let you, right?
Yeah.
Are you going as Vegas? Or are you going as nondescript dog number 12?
John Border Collie.
John Border Collie. Well, it poses an issue if I go as John Border Collie, right? Because
I
only
mean,
Vegas has been seen with Iggy, but not John Border Collie.
but John
Kyle the
Border Collie
Pomeranian.
talked to
What did you say?
Treyarch's bodyguards somewhat
That's
chummy.
right.
Whereas Vegas is, at this point, probably known as a anti-feral.
Right, and it's not like I couldn't apply my thieves' army pin to my disguised self, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But then again, I still think that that's a front. I don't think they're actually anywhere related to the Thieves' Army.
How expensive is hair dye and a curling iron?
you can get it for free if you know where to look.
Why?
Well, I'm just saying, if we need Vegas to be less Vegas,
Vegas, do the thing.
Oh, right. I pull up my mask and I assume the identity of John Border Collie.
You watch
It-
Ignatius's Vegas's form like magically transforms into a completely different dog.
what the fuck?
Right, and then he lifts it to reveal his self. He does the same thing that he did before, where he goes on, off, on, off, on, off, each time
Is it
cycling between different dog breeds.
isn't your
Love
mask
it.
just a napkin that you cut holes out of?
Presently, yeah. If that counts as a mask, then yeah. I can do it with any mask. So with anything that passes the definition of a mask should count, right?
Yes.
So yeah.
I fucking love that idea.
All right then. We don't. Okay.
What were you about to suggest, though? I'm curious.
We straighten your hair and dye it, and you look like it. Wasn't that complex of a plan, all right? It had two
Hmm.
steps.
Straighten my hair.
Sounds like it'd take a long time.
That feels like it would take a while. What would I even look like?
I don't want you could. This is a distraction. Anyway, so the two of you have an inn, especially you. Looks at Ignatius.
Hey, like that.
You were with them for months, from what I understand.
They weren't pleasant months.
Fair, but still. I think the rest of us should be nearby when this happens. And then, I mean, myself and the ski could be on the roof again, but I get the feeling this might happen during the day, and that would be a lot harder to hide.
Probably, yeah.
You know, big balls of shadow would look a bit weird in the middle of the daylight.
We know what time this is taking place, actually.
You do?
I was asking.
We don't. Other than it's in a number of days.
Could be
Well,
tomorrow,
illicit
could be the
business
day
deals
after.
don't really seem like a noon activity, do they?
Neither does a gathering of what I counted in that whole in that courtyard at least 16 people, and there's more on the way. Not counting what could be inside there.
There's something I'm considering. Are we leaving before they leave? Like when they get here, they're going to, should we get there ahead of time?
We should. We could at least. Maybe we could find information of when they might leave, what day. We could leave the day before. I imagine if they're moving a lot of people, it's going to get busy at the docks.
Meetings in Springbok and the junctions here. The people that would have arrived for the stones would already be here, probably, or turning up soon. The boat is a couple of days at most away, maybe 2 or 3. We could maybe ask Aziza to scry on the boat, maybe.
It would be a good idea.
She might have an idea how close it is.
Do you think she could scry on the boat itself and not any occupants?
She might know the admiral. She knows a lot of the other people.
It's worth a shot.
But I think we might be able to get away with just leaving a little after them, even. Gives us Set and Veronica some time here, which we keep interrupting. But, yeah, I think we don't have to rush anywhere. In fact, if we do rush, we're going to get noticed more, I think. We have 2 wagons, and we're not exactly subtle when we start moving like that.
Well, I am by no means a master of subtlety myself, so I am beholden to your whims, I suppose.
Well, somehow you managed to stay around them for a long time without giving up the jig, so you were doing something right.
There's a difference between sneaking and lying. They knew I was there the whole time.
Socially sneaky, as opposed to physically sneaky. It's the same thing.
Good enough for me, I suppose.
You did a very good job at convincing them that you were one of them, so...
Every word I heard.
It's a compliment more than anything.
Oh no, every word I spoke talking to them.
Oh, no, I'm saying I'm complimenting your ability to trick them that long. That's
Thank you.
Impressive.
Vanya over here, your racism skills are improving.
I
Nailed
must
it.
learn from you.
God.
Alright, so I got this handbook of slurs. You need to remember page 1 to
Oh.
40 by the end of the week.
Oh, they gave you that one too in training?
Any
Yeah.
ideas? Because at the moment, the whole idea of you two going there is to find out what the hell they're even meeting about. The rest of us are just kind of along for the ride at that point. Once you're in there, we're nearby to cover any escape that you might need.
Well, I don't suppose there's a way anyone else can get into the building with us.
I mean,
The
I
ski,
could.
can you turn invisible? That feels like something you can do.
If only. I can cloak us in shadow, and at the moment, that is the best I can accomplish aside from blinding a select few we don't want seeing us along the way.
Doing that in itself is kind of overt, though. That's going to
I'll
cause
give
worry.
up the game, but
I have a couple methods that
It
can
is
help, but
certainly a last resort, but it is not something that should be forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
I still have that meld into stone thing. I know it's. I've been saying it, but it's. If we do
Can
find
you-
a place where they visit frequently, I could use it.
Can you walk into and through a building, maybe, with that?
No, it's not past one.
Ah,
It's. I essentially meld into the stone.
and you said that's a few hours, right?
8 hours.
I suppose if you're able to get in to the room where the meeting will be, you could sit there in your own personal hell for 8 hours.
I think it might be in the courtyard. There was enough room for a lot of people in there.
Hmm.
I get the feeling this is more of an announcement to the organization rather than we're gonna get a few leaders together. Why in the hell would they bring so many people otherwise?
A good point. Maybe they'll have a after dinner social or something of the like as well.
Which might be another thing the two of you get involved in.
Precisely.
All I'm saying is that the pair of you are probably the most pleasant to speak to out of the lot of us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have our way with words.
And then you have the direct in, unfortunately.
Indeed I do. There really is no way to get you folk into the meeting out easily. Disguises?
I'm somewhat confident I could sneak in, but the issue there is that I am seen. The whole thing goes to shit.
Indeed.
Right. Looks like Wingus and Dingus are going undercover.
I forgot that happened.
Oh boy.
Very slow smile from Charlotte.
Is there anyone else that could think they could get in there? Or is it just these two and myself? And your
Besides,
melts of stone. Which means you have to
well,
get into that courtyard beforehand, meld yourself
Yes.
in, and then hope that by the time the spell runs out that they're still not in that building. Because you come out of that floor and they're like, where did you come from? I think you're in trouble.
Can you move while melded into a wall?
No, but I can still cast spells.
What does it smell like when you're melded into a wall?
I've
How would
never
they
done
know
it
that?
before.
I think it's really risky, Charlotte.
It is, but I just
Like, more risky than me walking in broad daylight risky. If you are in there, you're by yourself. Even if Vegas and Iggy are around when you eventually have to come out of that floor or wall or whatever you meld into, I don't think I don't know. It worries me.
It's a risk, but I'd only want to do it if it would be in a good position. Otherwise, I would just be additional backup.
So
I'd like
to get
think-
in there, you'd have to go through an external wall inside the building itself, then through another internal wall to the courtyard. Then you've got to be in the courtyard if that's where the meeting is happening. We're not for certain that that's actually where it's happening. Meld yourself in there and hope that you aren't seen the whole time doing this. Then meld yourself, and then hope by the time the spell's finished that you actually heard anything. Come out of the floor, and then get out again. That's a lot, and there's a lot of room for failure there.
There is. And I understand that, so I will just put that back on the shelf until there's a more opportune time for such an idea.
It's a very cool trick, though.
It is.
If we had knowledge of where this was happening well beforehand, then we could have probably done that.
Disguise as a. Do they have servants there? That's catered?
Mm.
Certainly didn't look like it from the outside. Seemed rather exclusive as far as meetings go.
Mm-hmm. Everyone down there had masks. Everyone was in those trench coats they wear. No one seemed to be staff. Honestly looked like more of a military procession than anything else I've seen.
Mm-hmm. That makes things difficult.
There is, the one thing is, I cannot be seen face to face. That's just one thing. I can't go in and be seen at all. Of all of us, I'm the one that's most recognizable to them, we'll say.
Well, I'm open to ideas.
I honestly think you two going in and the rest of us being nearby is our play. That gives you time to run, us to meet you in the street and make a retreat together that way.
I don't like it, but it seems to be our only option so far.
One more proposition, less riskier, a little work. So, tapping on her new magic item, which I have to remember the eyes of the eagle, which are crystal lenses. If I could find a good high point, or at least a good vantage point, I would be able to just monitor everything going on and see visual detail.
The lighthouse, right? Was that taller than the fort? Was there a lighthouse? Am I tripping?
There were two lighthouses. One to the northeast and one to the northwest. That overlook basically the whole city.
So you could probably get up on one of those.
How would I get in, though?
Pulls a grappling hook out of pack, looks at a ski.
And we'd also have to measure the distance. These things I can't really see. Like, I can't see into Springbok's flight from Pristana. It's too far.
I was asking in Springbok if there were lighthouses there.
Would any of the lighthouses be close to the fort?
Again, there are two lighthouses in Springbok's flight that overlook the entire city.
Oh,
That was what I described
noted.
to you
See.
when you first landed there, was the two different ones, one representing Pirua, the other one representing Dramphane.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay.
That would
This
be a
could
good
work.
vantage point, but then you'd be alone out there potentially.
You would be
But
pretty
you'd be
far from
safe.
the party.
I mean, everything's a risk.
This whole thing's risky. We could just like two of
Look.
us are going in there. They're risking the most out of the lot of us.
I think I would get in less trouble trespassing the lighthouse than they would if they got caught and seemed suspicious by the ferals.
What, at most a night in a cell.
I can deal with it.
I think too many cooks spoil the pot.
Mhm. So
It's
you
like-
overlooking, we'll give you one of the group sending stones. Give Vegas or Iggy one of the group sending stones, and then the rest of us be nearby. And by nearby, I mean a few maybe a block or two away. Then you can say, I think we're in trouble, and we can start making our way towards it.
Right. So now all that's left is to get me a feral disguise, right? If I'm going in as John Border Collie.
Can you make other masks with that spell of yours?
I don't know. Like, do you mean can I make a mask a part of the disguise that comes out of that spell?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe so.
You can change
'Cause
your
it-
species with the
yeah, it's
spell. It's
just-
not like
yeah,
a
yeah.
disguise self. You would now if you acquire a feral mask of some sort, you could use your stagecraft in that mask to maintain your disguise.
Well,
But the feral mask would become a part of that disguise, correct?
Yeah.
So
Because
I'd
again,
have to
it's
wear
part of
two
your
feral
outfit.
masks.
Your outfit doesn't change, just your species.
So I'd have to find a feral mask, regardless if I want to like stack masks and do that.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Were you invited, Iggy?
Yeah.
So they're not expecting everyone to wear masks, it sounds like.
I mean, unless I'm to receive a mask, I haven't gotten one in the mail.
So the two of you go together and see what happens. At worst, Vegas gets turned away and it's just you going in. But I'm pretty confident you could get out of there very easily if you really wanted to.
Worst
Don't
comes
sit
to
wings.
worst, I can, barring wings, yes. Also, simply just not blow my cover if it comes to it.
This is the whole point of this is to watch and learn. That's it.
Exactly.
That's all we're doing.
Wait, so I should go in undisguised?
No. You have been seen with us recently.
Yeah.
Iggy hadn't.
Go in as John Q. Border Collie.
Okay.
And the worst thing that happens with you going in is they've got magic detection and they figure out you're hiding under a spell.
But yeah, okay.
But you wouldn't be the first to keep their identity hidden. I mean, look at them.
No, yeah. It's funny when you think about it. So,
Duo, with one sec, I'll post the feature just so I can ask the question and see what you think. Because of the maze proof feature, I know it only mentions like I can retrace paths and I can ignore maze. But would I be able to remember a layout of what I saw? Could I like sketch out a little map of what I saw there
For what? The fort?
for the fort and then the courtyard itself, basically?
For the upper bastions of the fort and the courtyard, yes. The interior, you have no idea what it looks like or
Yeah.
what's going
Yeah,
on
I was
there.
just asking about the external and the internal courtyard, basically.
Mm-hmm. You could do that.
So yeah, she'll sketch that out. The two towers in the diagonal from one another, the courtyard itself, and then sort of rough positions of like the training dummies and all that crap that they had in the courtyard itself. That is essentially what we'll be looking at. But the gate was, you almost walked directly into that courtyard, from what I could tell. Seems like most of the building is in the walls and in the towers themselves.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing like centrally built, so
Well, I'll see if I can convince them to give me the grand tour.
I
If
guess
you
it's just
can.
a waiting game now. Unless we want to go back over there, and I think Aspen might actually stab me if we drag them over there without having to go over again.
Just a nod.
Well,
Fair.
we're planning to go back at some point, but we should have whatever we need to do in Pristana. We need it done.
Yep. Hopefully we'll have more sending stones, but I doubt they're going to be finished by the time these guys get here. We should ask Aziza if she can scry on them.
I was just about to bring that up. Yes, that seems prudent.
Not that I anticipate getting into a fight, but I could top myself off on healing potions.
You should have. I bought us loads.
Oh, I have two, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying, Vanya went through and got several.
Sorry, I was reading the wrong stat. I thought I just had one. No, that's the weight. Okay, sorry. I don't have my glasses on. One sec.
You also have a fancy get big potion too.
I do. I'm saving that for when I need it most.
What else could you need?
You also have the potion of Big Strong for a while.
Yeah. I've also got a scroll of blur, I think, still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you kind of kitted. Maybe give the blur potion, the scroll to Iggy.
I don't know. It's special to me. That's like some of our first dungeon loot.
Oh wow, you've had that long? Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I don't know. Iggy, do you want it?
I have no particular attachment.
Okay.
The idea of having it.
Okay.
I'm going to pass my sending stone to Iggy. So that's the one that's connected to the 4x group.
The group chat, if you will.
Yep. That means that's Iggy, Charlotte, Usky, and a set, all on the same stone.
I've moved the item.
Keep all of that.
Alright, there it is.
I don't really plan on going too far until this boat starts to arrive. We should probably get over there a day early if the scry works and we know.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And we could probably take the wagons then, if there's room.
But do we want the wagon stuck there if things go poorly?
If things go poorly, all of our stuff is be in the wagons and we can just get out at Springbok. We just
Alright.
go. We won't be able to use the travel stones, but it's better than being stuck on Springbok and not being able to
Yeah.
get back to the wagons.
No, you have a point.
Let's
We
set
can
up a
always-
secondary location in Springbok, and then we'll just run north.
Yeah.
Bella Madre is a little ways.
Further, honestly. We have wagons. We can stay in the wild if we need. Harder to find then too. And the set's probably better knowledge of these lands than the rest of us. At least the countryside, right?
I know a thing or two.
No offense, Charlotte, but I guess you spent most of your time in Alloris proper, right?
Well, that is a ways, but it's been a long time.
I'm not saying we traveled up there. It's just more of a direction, if anything. You said you wanted to check it out eventually. Might be.
Not if we're on the run.
So we go, what, back into Alamance, maybe? If this goes wrong?
I mean, if we can always set up to Wingsmeet to hide in the woods,
True.
it's the best chance, unless we want to head to Ruby Bay, which is west, and there's, of course, Port Estrega to the east.
I don't really know Vigno, so...
For the love
Well-
of all that is holy, let's not have myself end up going on another 4-month-long furlough.
If there's a place I know, there's
Right.
Port Estrega.
And then we could probably... Traveling would be a bit... Yeah, okay.
But there would be
better-
wood.
It's a better way north. Okay. We just need to make sure we've got a get out plan more than anything. We could go pretty quickly. From what we can see, most of them are on foot. The wagons definitely travel faster than people on foot. At least most. If they've got more dragons, we might be in trouble, but I don't know if you saw many. Looks at Iggy.
Would that be an answer I'd have on hand?
Say again?
Run the question
Uh,
by him, Vanya.
Yeah, basically I was asking if Iggy saw any more dragons other than potential family members while he had his time with the ferals.
No. None.
Okay. They would stand out a lot more.
Yep.
So I'd imagine most can't keep up with us once we get bolting. At worst, we don't go back to Springbok for a while after we make a
Right.
mess like that. But I mean, we've got potentially, you mentioned Arneria for the Brotherhood, and then someone mentioned Trisoli. I forget why.
Wasn't me. At least I don't think it was.
Oh, okay.
Then we head towards an area, I guess. We can look for that Brotherhood there. Seems like a good lead. And if we do find anything else out from this little meeting, we could give them that information as a bartering tool.
If we're going to Arneria, I know this is still... I've been told by my previous Delverly, don't plan things ahead because everything changes by the minute. I would like to go back to Dole for heading east for just a day or two.
It's smart anyway. Supplies.
But also, we might need to also check in on Vegas's estate in Louvain.
True. Though you could
I
get
know-
in touch with. Right? You could send a message, maybe?
I could.
I mean, it just means we're going well out of our way if we're heading towards. If we are doing Oneria next, then that's a detour and a half. That's going the same distance in the opposite direction.
Question
Dole.
is there a junction gate Louvain? I have to save this in a bookmark somewhere.
Yes, there's a junction gate to every major city.
So, Tristana, Kuzmek, Louvain.
Not Kuzmek, it would be
Jaegerville.
Farsaro.
Oh, Fassaro. Okay. Oh, yeah, of course,
Yeah.
it's more central, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
That makes
The
more
only
sense.
location you cannot get to is Alar, as they have no main city.
Yeah, that would be a very long boat trip.
So we head to so I mean maybe that should be our plan even if things go well. We head to Strega, Dole, Louvain, and then Tarnaria.
Okay. It's and Fassaro puts us in the middle, so if they are over on the Batian rather than the Balik, then we'll know. A little easier, at least. Though we were told to look for feral activity over there, so they could be on either side, but I think we should stick to the causeway. It's where a lot of people are looking for ways off the causeway.
Be easy to blend in.
For the ferals, probably. There's a lot of. I've known of a few disenfranchised people because of the war on there. But finding the Brotherhood, we were told to look for the ferals, so.
Well, we either find them or they come to us.
Ominous.
Right.
I mean, we've messed with them before, and they were definitely agitated.
Yeah. That's assuming we get caught and we're rushing, because if we don't get caught and we're not rushing, we can just use the gates, go straight to Louvain, do your checking. And then I guess we could did you want to go to Dole to check on
Yes.
Samson? So we may as well travel by wagon to Dole, from Dole to Louvain. And then we can take the junction from Louvain to Fassaro. Saves us time. But that's assuming we're not in a rush.
Well,
anything else for the actual night that we can think of?
let's think about the present now.
That's what I mean. What do we do beforehand, and then what are we doing?
So we're scrying. We're gonna get a scry request from Aziza.
Hopefully we hear about the stones soon.
What should we do if Aziza can't track the boat or where it is?
That's the worst part. I think that means we get to Springbok and we wait for a big ship pulling up, because that's going to make a bit of a show.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. Any last minute business that in the Pristana? Do it.
Well, I never really liked this place.
Oh, I love it.
It is kind of nice.
It gets a bit old after 200 years.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
Hmm.
Really? I would have thought seeing it developed from basically nothing to this would have been really interesting.
Well, it is on an island, and there's only so much you can do.
Like gamble.
Eye roll.
I couldn't bring myself to do that.
I have learned and unlearned how to play several gambling games. I'm fairly certain there's a hole burnt in my mind where that belongs.
Funny.
You really don't remember how to play blackjack after a while, but it does come back naturally.
It's a wave. You just got to ride the wave.
Precisely.
Okay, let's wrap up what we need to do here. What do we need to do here?
All right, making a list.
Checking it
Because I've
twice.
got nothing.
I want to speak to Aziza one more time about my father, but then
Oh.
the rest of the time I want to contribute to the training in medium armor master, if that's an option.
Would if we could figure out a way to do it, would I be able to combine the mobile training at the same time, like kind of attacks from out of nowhere against Vegas at real high speed as a way to both of us train up?
I'd say Vegas would likely have to continue their little training thing with Aspen to kind of continue the medium
Yeah.
armor proficiency.
I'll train with you too, Vanya.
But
Well, my idea would just be running around Pristana at that point, then just basically free running the city
trying to get
until exhaustion.
across the rooftops, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do that too.
You sure can, buddy.
Thank you.
Okay, so what's the plan?
Medium armor training for Vegas, my mobile training, and then I don't know what others want to do. So
For the time we're still in Pristana, Charlotte, for I would say 4 o'clock to the evening, she's going to watch from the balcony.
Okay.
She's going to just surveillance.
oh, and the scrying visit with Aziza, if she can
Yeah,
manage it.
I heard that one. Okay. Anything else as well?
Vegas has additional questions for Aziza after the scrying session.
Okay.
That's it though.
Okay. I didn't make a counter for your medium armor thing, I think.
Oh shoot.
Did you make any progress last time we did it? It was a while ago.
I mean, yeah, like when we initiated it, when I asked permission to do it, I got like 1 counter towards it, I thought.
Okay.
But I don't remember if we established like what I'm trying to reach.
Yeah, I don't think I set up the goal yet, so I will.
So what's the
have to.
goal?
Well, I'm gonna have to figure it out.
Hee hee.
Just trying to figure out where I can drop that in. Let's see. I'll just put it in the appearance tab at the very end. That'll be easiest. Okay. Yeah, because Aspen was working on Sentinel, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, would both of you like to reattempt your training for this day?
Sure.
What's the role I need
Yes,
for that?
please.
I believe you do competing athletics checks, is what I was having you do.
Both good rolls.
Yes, very good. With 24, Aspen, you're able to get Vegas caught off guard with an initial shove as they attempt to go in for this repeated grapple. And with a little bit of luck, you end up faring a little bit better in the training overall. You will get a point towards your progress.
Yay.
So the only downside is you guys are sort of competing against each other in a way.
Yeah.
But the higher the rolls, the better chances that you both do well. Okay.
All right, now flop this next one, Aspen.
Yeah, go ahead and give me another
Throw it.
round.
Oh, real?
Hey. Vegas, no.
Okay. And then one more round.
Oh, come on, you gotta beat that.
Watch me rolling that one. Watch me rolling that one just to blow your mind.
Why'd you do that to yourself?
No, it's okay. It's not gonna happen.
Oh, that
Money.
almost happened.
I was gonna say, how low can we go?
Alright. With a bit more practice and getting kind of warmed up, as it has been a while since you two have attempted to train like this, you do eventually get the better on Aspen as they try to use their size to pin you down, and you, in your slippery ways, are able to get out of the way, in a matter of speaking. So,
Vegas getting pinned by ass. I'm like, oh no, help.
alright, so I've updated the counters on both of yours.
Because
Vanya, I believe last time I asked for athletics.
Yep.
Yeah, so go ahead and give me that.
Ugh.
You try to go about the tops of the buildings, and you try to do this quickly because you want to build up the stamina and such. The problem is navigating the top of these buildings in a fast manner without memorizing them means you end up coming to complete stops multiple times when you realize the next building ahead of you is about 3 stories taller than you were expecting.
Yep.
So it becomes a little bit rougher as a result.
Okay. I'll while doing that, I'll make sure like half my time going out and then half the time coming back, so I don't go too far away.
Yeah. Okay. So, I believe the next on the task is meeting with Aziza.
Yeah.
Kobo.
Okay. Whole party, I assume.
Sure.
All right. You all return to the Crystal Fox Hotel. Head up to the parlor. Zahir greets you. Opens the door and says, "Madam's expecting you."
Don't like that.
Head in. Head to
Going to look at Iggy.
yeah.
Head to the far table that she's sitting at, and she's looking rather relaxed at the moment, just kind of like lounged. The gold dragon whose lap she frequently occupies is currently just kind of like feeding her snacks. She smiles and looks up as you all enter. "Well, back so soon, are we? Good evening, Ignatius."
Ignatius will offer a small bow.
Well, I had a feeling you all would turn up at some point. Need my specialties?
Indeed, we do. We need some invasive reconnaissance done.
And who am I eavesdropping on?
We would like to know more about. What's the best way to put this, folks?
The admiral of the ship that you were with, not the one you arrived with, but the one
Commodore
coming on the...
specifically?
Yeah.
Commodore specifically, yes.
Mr. Crowley.
Yes, that bastard.
Well, if I must suffer his presence from a distance.
It's rough enough being in it personally.
It is something I can do. Even for a short time. She kind of gestures to the gold dragon for a moment, and she hops up onto the table where the dragon goes to fetch a few of her material components that she needs, returning with the little ceramic bowl that she used previously that Vegas would have seen, and the very strange-looking water skin that she had procured. She pours out what looks like the liquid mercury again into the bowl, adds a few ingredients, and begins casting the spell. Well, the Commodore is on the deck of his ship. It seems Pristana is in sight.
Do you know how long?
Well, he should be arriving by tonight.
Tonight?
We need to get back to Springbok as soon as we can.
Oh
We
boy.
have to go.
Timetable's accelerating.
Time acceleration.
He does have company. Very handsome looking silver dragon with him.
Bribe.
What'd you say?
Bribe them.
I can barely understand you, priest.
Describe them. Sorry, I didn't realize my mic was hung up.
A little bit more light build compared to yourself. Nice teal wings. A little bit more of a bronze scruff to their scales in a bit. Very piercing blue eyes.
Does this description ring a bell?
Yes, this sounds very much like your brother.
Goody, Maximilian's here.
Who?
A close relative of mine.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Intimately
Then-
close.
Then he would spot
He
you.
would spot me and know who I am immediately.
It's not necessarily a bad thing.
What do you want to do about it?
Are you in good standing with them?
How do I put this? I kind of just left.
Oh.
Which is, in the grand scheme of things, the 15 years isn't particularly long to a dragon, but still.
Mm.
Undeniably, that is an issue that will come up.
Venny already knows you're there. This admiral doesn't sound like he keeps secrets very well.
By all means, Maximilian almost certainly knows that I am. Because he'll see a second silver dragon and he'll go, "Oh, you must know this other one," and then he actually does.
So the plan stays the same, I think.
Plan stays the same. I just have to deal with a lot more bullshit.
Well, all that's changed is our time of getting back to Springbok, which is as soon as we can. Because I'm
Makes
assuming
sense.
this meeting's tomorrow then.
I have to be at this rate. I'm going to need some impressive look. My armor's already been modified by the weights group.
Buy an outfit, get over there. You don't have to be
Outfit, get
armored
over
per
there.
se.
I think it would be prudent to be armored.
True.
There are military types we're dealing with. The Commodore will almost certainly be easily impressed. It's a question of Treyarch.
Mm-mm.
And I had the idiocy to go get symbols engraved on my armor after immediately getting it.
I don't think that'll be too bad.
It just feels disconcerting to know they're there under the cloth.
I mean, more if they're seen, it's what, Veraston symbols?
Weights and measures. They took me in, and I thought it would be a very interesting experience to partake in their craft.
So you say that. Just be honest.
I suppose I am being overly paranoid.
I think you're putting too much weight on the fact that you spent some time with another group of paladins and got some interesting gifts from them. That's all that's happened here. What are they going to say? Oh, how dare you? You're definitely a sympathizer of the Brethren because the weights and measures paladins like you. Like,
Oh, how dare... I mean, I suppose it's better than showing up with a tramp stamp.
With the what?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Didn't say it.
I got one of those.
It's not canon.
What in the hell is that?
Don't
I
worry
bet
about it.
Aspen's mom has
Don't
one
worry
of those.
about it. Don't worry about it.
we're dragging that into canon. You can't escape.
Dragon.
It's like Baldwin when he said Jesus Christ.
Lisa's just kind of sitting there with a Mona Lisa smile, not saying anything, but she knows.
Aziz at the far end of the table, just grinning.
Iggy on blast. Let's go.
It had to happen at some point.
Okay. So I do actually have one thing I want to do before I leave this room. And looks at Aziza. But after that, we should go. And whatever you needed, Vegas.
Yeah, I'll take care of that when the rest of y'all depart.
Mine's not so private, so.
Well,
I mean, mine wouldn't be that private. You can stay if you want, but I don't want to bore you.
Mine's boring too.
Hey,
well, we could get these out of the way now if it's not that private.
It's just if you could check in on my family.
Of course, where am I looking?
She'll give a exact location from the basically once you get into the Kazmak. Exactly the name of the place, the building layout, everything she needs, basically. Names.
Okay. You give exact details of the location. I assume you would give more of the details of, like, maybe one of the individuals, like your mother or such, so that they can focus on an individual specifically.
She'd probably probably describe her mother more than anyone else. Kind of a more typical coloured Jerboa, a bit heavy set, probably with the same sort of long tail that Vanya has. bigger ears like she has. And then probably needs her name, right?
It would help.
Me struggling to remember it myself, even though I made this character.
If you don't remember in the moment, you can just tell me that you give her the name.
Yeah,
And
just
we'll-
given the name.
We'll go back over it later. Alright, so you give the details, the descriptions, the name, and Aziza begins to cast Scrying again. Oh, this is very quaint. Is this a sort of a mom and pop kind of restaurant?
She nods. Yes, yeah.
It's very lovely. It's also very busy.
Always is.
And I take it the other Marines that I'm seeing are kin of yours? Brothers and sisters?
Probably. She's starting to look very self-conscious.
You have quite the large family. They all seem to be doing rather well, if busy.
Sounds right. Is she at least happy looking?
From what I can tell, she does.
Okay, good. Alright, that's it. That's all I needed.
Of course. And you, Vegas?
Yeah. I wanted to know how my father died.
Some of those details aren't pervy to me. But I do know that it was in a duel with another knight.
Did they have a name?
The knight's name was Matthias Rhodes. He is dead.
Mm. Okay. I wonder why they lied to me. That's it.
I'm sorry that I couldn't be of more help.
That's fine. Anticlimactic, but it's fine.
Like I told you before, you'll probably find more answers with time.
Right.
Well, is there any further needs in my services?
Not that I can think of. Anyone
I could
have
use a
any
back rub.
desires? I don't think we're in the timetable for that, sadly.
Okay,
We
then
do need
later.
to go.
We need to get moving.
Rain
I was
check on the
going to
back
ask
rub.
perhaps if Veronica's doing okay, but
We could
You just-
check on the way past.
Yeah, we
Mhm.
could. It probably just takes several minutes.
You wouldn't know when the next ferry's coming, would you? Looks at Aziza.
Can you scry that?
She just kind of like narrows her eyes a little bit. You could check the dock. Oh, they're
Yeah, but the door's over there, and this chair's quite comfy.
Certinacious.
I kid.
Oh.
Regardless, your
Sensing
help
some
is
background here.
deeply appreciated.
There is some deep sass in that response to Ignatius.
Look, you don't get to be this old without a few contacts.
Mm-hmm.
contacts. Is that what you call it these days?
Yep.
That is the term I'm specifically using to. Let's move on.
Throwing her hands up. I don't need to picture this, and walks out of the room.
I've pictured it. I'm moving past it.
I get it.
Are we content? Are we satisfied?
So satisfied.
We carry
All right.
on.
Perfect. Splendid.
Vegas takes the hookah and blows a smoke ring before leaving.
How'd you do that?
I learned it.
Charlotte accidentally inhales everything.
Adam.
No, you're supposed to. Yes.
Alright. Well, with that, we will go ahead and go on our break.
Oh god, I need coffee now.
Okie dokie.
Yippee!
Yeah, I'm gonna make myself a drink.
BRB.
I'm gonna make myself a drink. Shotguns a beer off mic.
Just doing that fucking tornado chug.
Ugh.
Get up and get something to drink, but like this chair is comfy, and my calves actually are fucking killing me right now.
Dude, I'm so fucking sore. I can't. I can't like lift my arms above my shoulders height.
What the fuck did you do?
Jim.
I didn't even go to the gym. I just had an entire day of work training, and my legs were in such a shitty position because it's a shitty chair and a shitty table.
Evil chair.
Evil chair.
Evil table.
There's barely any cushion. It's small. The back sucks. So I gotta sit there arced forward with my fucking knees tucked in and my legs.
Bad.
What
It
was
hurt.
it like one of those fucking school tables or some shit?
Nah, the table is just tall enough to be annoying and just short enough to also be annoying.
Nice. Love that.
I could take or leave the table. The chair, my god.
Evil chair.
Evil chair.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here trying not to stand up and hurt my legs.
Yeah, I just worked out too hard. Now I can't lift my arm to pick my nose or else I experience a lot of pain. So like
I had that situation going on last Thursday.
uh
No idea why. My body was just like, hey, fuck you, buddy. Forgot I even had the Foundry tab up with how much talking we've been doing.
The voices are loud tonight.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, they're saying, "Yeah, what if you scrambled like 3 eggs and dumped a handful of shredded cheese into them?"
I am here now. Well, what a change of developments. It seems I am in the void.
Nuh-uh. I just don't want to push the button to talk.
I think it's possible that we could just all be in the void.
Yin. So I got Balantra for mobile. Haha.
Yeah, I got Balatro on mobile first, and I can't bring myself to go through all of it again until I get like gold plus or whatever on mobile.
Heh.
Alright, I'm back. I made breakfast.
Did you get the scrambled eggs and cheese?
Yeah, baby.
Holy shit, yes!
I made it real quick.
I return. Hey, Gal, you there?
Yeah, what's up?
How have you been dealing with Clive now that he's in Tekken? How's he? Is he another
He sure
Noctis?
is. He sure is a DLC character. He's Noctis, but worse.
Oh, like in a bad way or in like a?
I mean, he's got a bunch of hyper armor moves that I don't love, but they're
Oh
easy to
god.
read. He's like, he has zoning abilities. He's a very much a DLC character, and I've had to learn how to deal with him. Fortunately, every Clive player that I've come across falls victim to the same behavioral patterns, so I can call them out and parry almost everything they throw at me because it's a set play character. And
Right.
yeah, it's just further affirms my my not distaste, my ambivalence towards Final Fantasy.
Everyone's
remember
doing the
that.
same shit with him.
I'm done with it. It's just like he has a bunch of Noctis's kit too, where he just juggles you for fucking 5 days. But like, yeah, he's fine. He looks kind of fun, but I won't stoop to that level.
Gotcha.
Heihachi, however, holy shit.
Is he good?
I'm back.
It's funny because he's an install character now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he survived from Tekken 7. His death was
Somehow Hayachi
widely
returned.
his death was widely exaggerated.
Look, all of the Mishimas have been thrown into a volcano at least
Yeah.
twice now. So
It's growing up.
I know nothing about Tekken aside from the fact that there's a bear, a training dummy made of wood, and Heihachi always comes back.
yeah,
Mokujin's the
Mokujin.
bomb.
he's a mimic fighter, so he's just someone random every round. So if you know a lot of characters, he's really good to throw people off with because they just never know what's coming, basically.
Do you get to know in advance, or do you find out after you use the first fucking combo?
I think it's a very valid question, actually.
I mean, if you know at least how to do an input or two, then you're better than most people that play fighting games. So.
No, but do you know who you're playing? Who he's mimicking?
Oh no,
Before
not
the
until you
fight,
see how he moves. No.
Yeah.
If he starts dancing all capoeira style, then you know he's Eddie. But if he's just standing there like a Mishima, then they're all sort of the same looking, at least, until they start fighting.
Okay, it looks like we are all here. So, your little excursion with Aziza concluded, and
Yeah.
your training put out of the way. What is your next course of action at this point? You have probably... I'd say it's probably like pushing like 3 o'clock now, so not super late.
Wagons,
Wagons.
Wiggins.
then Veronica's.
Check on Veronica, and then we go to the docking, hopefully for Harry.
Yep.
Yeah, there's time for a roulette spin in there somewhere, right?
No.
Vegas.
What?
No, there's not, in fact.
Okay. I wouldn't know if I didn't ask.
Okay, so returning to the wagons. Uh, upon arrival to the wagons, which is not very far because they're right outside the hotel, but as you exit the hotel and catch sight of the wagons, Mocha's head is very clearly sticking out of one of the wagons.
Yeah.
Start
Is she staring at me or
shadowboxing
is she
Mocha.
staring at something else?
And staring at you.
Did you train her to open windows?
Can't remember doing so.
Because she keeps opening that window to stare out of it.
I am beyond words.
I have hired the doors to stare at you.
Mocha doesn't scare me.
Well, let's keep going.
Alright. With the wagons collected, you begin making your way over towards Veronica's apartment. Stopping on your way to the ferry. I assume it's just a set going in to check on them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You head up to her apartment, you knock on the door. Takes her about a minute or so, but she eventually opens the door and... back so soon? Is something wrong?
Bit of a change of plans. As it turns out, Treyarch is coming in tonight.
Oh?
Yeah.
So you're leaving?
For now at least. But I'll still try to make time to be with you. Once this is done.
Okay. Well. Again, be safe. Try not to...
Of course.
Don't do anything reckless. Your friends seem pretty, eager to jump into things.
They do need a voice of reason now, don't they? Elisa just gives her like a tight hug and another kiss.
She shares in it, and she hugs you for a little bit longer, just kind of like not wanting to let you go immediately.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be here when you get back.
Of course not.
Alright. Turn to the wagons.
Alright.
And... Oh, yes?
And I said I as in yes.
Yeah. Turn to the wagons, make your way down to the ferry. You don't have to wait super long. The next ferry comes in at 4 o'clock, so once it gets here, you pay the very small fee to get across, wagons included. The ferry's large enough to support both the wagons, so it's not like it's a huge issue or anything. They just have to make sure that they're secured down as the ferry gets in motion so they don't, like, roll off into the sea.
Just while we're traveling on these, I'm trying to keep an eye out for anybody that pings the old racist radar.
Okay, give me perception checks. Man, could be anyone.
That's fine.
Anyone can be racist.
It's a
Hang
bit
on,
on the
Ignatius
nose,
has
don't you
spent a
think?
long time with a racist. He'll be able to sniff him out. What the fuck? Game, come on, give me this. Give me
Maybe
this.
this is social commentary.
So clearly, I can sniff them out the best.
Jeez, okay.
Okay. Sure.
I'm tempted to roll just for posterity, but I'm not sure. I don't think I'm topping that. Well, actually, I might have like a +10.
You'll never know if you don't try.
Jesus.
Okay.
This jackal stares at racist.
This will be fun.
What?
All right.
It's always fun.
Yes, Vegas and Iset, both of you, while you were more or less just kind of like relaxing and enjoying the ferry ride over, do spot two individuals that look very familiar to you at this point.
Well,
You've had several run-ins with them, all across the Beast World, it would seem. The
No
two
way.
Doberman twins are here.
Hmm.
Motherfucker.
Again, Vegas and Iset are the only ones to have spotted them amongst the crowd.
Supposed to be a joke.
You see that, Aset?
Sure.
Just to put it in perspective, they are also dressed pretty casually in this point. They don't appear to be carrying anything of note, no weapons, no gear, no dusters, no masks.
Thinking they're so goddamn slick.
Should we tell the gang?
We should.
Okay. Group meeting.
Imagine in the wagons, as that would make the most
Yeah.
sense.
yeah.
Sleep over
Mhm.
at Vegas's place.
Yay. This seems important.
There's a couple of the pharaohs we've run into before on this ferry.
Let me guess, the dogs.
Uh-huh.
Did they notice us?
No.
Don't seem to
Are
have.
you just saying that? Or are you sure?
I saw them. They didn't see me.
One was like leaning slightly over the railing, just kind of watching the waves. The other one had their back to the railing, but they weren't looking in your direction at all.
Right. Neither of them suspect a thing. They're not even in outfit.
I'm gonna stay in the wagon.
Good choice.
What if we just kill them now?
Hmm.
In the
Oh.
middle of the day,
In
having
broad daylight,
crowded-
in front of a
I
crowd.
don't mean literally this second.
I like the idea, but do you think somebody would notice if they were gone?
Probably.
Definitely. And I don't think it's going to be an easy job.
I imagine when we do, it's going to cause a lot of them to start looking.
Was millionaire in thought? No more.
And I want to kind of get into the habit of us not just flat killing these people if we can avoid it.
Self-defense.
No, I mean, we don't need to kill them. The higher-ups, maybe, but more of your average member, like we ran into in Dole. Those people don't deserve to die. Being misled isn't a death sentence.
Charlotte's gonna have a pause.
I'd like to think that we can get through this without stirring a huge fight this time, at least.
Yeah.
And
We
also,
do not need to do anything.
Exactly, and in a it's them or me situation, I'm going to favor myself, just so you know.
I think the most of these people, at least their average mook, you could probably knock out pretty easily.
Exactly.
I don't think you need to kill them. That's what I'm trying to get at.
No, I won't kill if I don't have to.
Okay. It seems weird that it sounded like you were objecting for a moment, but okay. A lot of these people just seem lied to, and I don't think they deserve to die for that. And it might be a bit of a guilty conscience talking, but
I see your point. It's if we can.
now Treyarch, go ahead. I don't care. But the average person,
Yeah, I don't think we're that close to toppling their entire regime, but it's a nice thought.
more the sentiment behind it.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, the higher up the chain they go, the less I think they're likely to be able to be talked down from their position.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in Dole is kind of sticking with me, and I don't want to repeat that. That's it. That's all I needed to say about it.
Alright, very well. Should we just remain in the wagon for the fair, or should someone... Vegas.
Uh-huh.
You'd be able to scout them as your disguise, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, don't stalk them, just go about business and see if they're up to anything.
works for me.
I mean, you're going to be seen by them over there anyway, in that disguise, so
Mm-hmm.
I'll be in here. Just let me know when we're in position, I guess.
All right, I assume the disguise.
The return of John Border Collie.
Yeah. Patent pending.
Orf, orf.
We love John Border Collie.
Vegas suffers identity crises.
Okay. So what's your plan?
I'm gonna skulk about the ship.
Okay. Basically just kind of keeping sights on them. Are you getting close
Yeah.
enough to like listen to them, but just like
Yeah, I will definitely try and eavesdrop.
okay. Not too hard to do. There's plenty of people moving about, and they're not exactly like there's people around them from time to time. They don't seem particularly worried.
I'm also going to be wearing my Thieves Army pin or emblem on display. See if that gets any specific attention.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Yeah. Oh no.
Alright. You come over, you lean on like one of the railings, probably about like 5-6 feet away from them. Give plenty of space. And try to like overhear whatever conversation they're having. And they're clearly talking to each other. But they're speaking in a language you aren't familiar with.
Hmm.
French.
Based Based on the dialect, it is probably some form of Arnarian.
You've probably heard Vanya swear in it a few times under her breath.
Okay.
And give me an insight if you want to like gauge the tone.
Yeah. I'm not connected to Vanya through sending soon yet, right?
No. That goes to Wiggy now.
Okay.
8.
Yeesh.
It sounds pretty casual. It's kind of hard to tell. You haven't heard the language being spoken just this fluently between two people before.
Well, I don't have a translator. Would I be able to phonetically copy the words into a sending spell to relay from Iggy to Vanya?
That
Oh, we're
seems
playing telephone with foreign languages now.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
Yeah,
This is
that
the worst
seems
idea.
that sounds extremely difficult, given
be
that you
funny.
don't know this language at all.
That's fair. I thought I'd try.
This is the Chinese room V2. My God.
Like, that
Okay.
already rarely works out, even if you're keeping it to languages that everyone involved actually speaks, let alone
Yeah, there's a reason
And
telephone
people
fucks up so
on the
hard.
chain.
Yeah.
It would be going through. So your stone goes to Aspen, by the way.
Yeah,
So-
I know. So Aspen would be passing it to you. I'm thinking on my feet. Don't give me a break, dude. But I will continue to eavesdrop. See if there's any other pharaohs on board aside from those two.
Go ahead and give me one more perception check.
Please give me a net 20.
Nobody else seems to stand out. Most of the people coming and going across the ferry are possibly tourists and maybe locals.
All right. Eventually, or at least intermittently, I'll stop by the wagons to just eat. Because I'm bored.
Okay. Anything else before you arrive at Springbok?
I mean, I didn't get any information off them, so I guess I should just kill them. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything.
All right. With that, you arrive back at Springbok's flight. It takes a bit. You have to wait for more of the people to disembark from the ferry before your wagons are essentially released so that they can get off. But once free, you have entered into the city. It was your first course of action, as I believe it is now 8 o'clock at night.
Find lodging, or like a place to park the wagons.
Maybe a couple of blocks away from the fort. Maybe a little further, actually.
Probably further than that, yeah.
Okay. I assume you want to put them in a way that would make it easier for you to escape if you need to.
Yeah.
Get out of the city.
Yeah, facing a way that we can just go,
Like
even if
what,
it is a
just
little
on-
reckless.
Parked on the side of the street.
Well, I'd imagine there isn't really much of a wall around this place, right?
I mean, there kind of is. It's not not super like dramatic. It's not like anything you saw at like Severport where the wall was pretty fortified.
Yeah, it's not like Louvain's walls or anything like that. It's just we could probably find a gap easy enough. So probably nearer to an exit, basically, so we can just run to the wagons and then go at like high speed.
Okay.
It's probably not the first time they've had to chase Delvers out of town.
So you find an area that's relatively quaint, that you're able to pull kind of like the two wagons in between some of the buildings, kind of keep them a little bit more out of sight, but not be in like anyone's particular way. Departing from said wagons, I assume. Once you have them nice and situated.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. And where are we off to now?
And it's up to everyone else.
So we can confirm it's happening tonight. It's not gonna be like for tomorrow.
No, the whole reason we're here is because it's happening potentially tomorrow.
Okay, good. Charlotte would like to scope out one of the lighthouses to see like the activity, the sort of like how closed off it might be. Because she's still planning to survey from there.
Okay. Which lighthouse would you go to?
Whichever's closest to the fort.
Given that both the lighthouses are equal distance to each other and the fort's kind of like in the middle of the north side of the city, they would both be same distance. You would just get different angles.
If two lighthouses are equidistant from the fort and Charlotte walks 10 miles an hour.
How many bars of soap does she have left?
We'll do the northmost, westmost one. I'm just spitballing.
Dranfine, because ironic. There you go.
Yeah, sure. Dramphine.
Alright. Going to Dramfine's lighthouse then?
Yeah, just scoping it out, not infiltrating, just getting the feeling of it. You know, the activity will maybe cut off.
The lighthouse is definitely much taller than you really give it credit for once you get up close to it in perspective. It is very ornate in a way. It's decorated with many different symbols of the moon, going through various phases. You do see a paladin there, what you can only assume to be another Dramphinian paladin, possibly guarding the entrance to the lighthouse. You don't see really any other activity other than occasionally someone coming by to just kind of like get a look at the place.
All right, I'm going to approach this Dramphine. Hello, hi. Very sorry. I am a cleric of Etris, and I have just stopped by this place to sort of learn the locale. Is this restricted from civilians?
The yellow bovine Dramphine looks towards you and just kind of offers a pretty normal-ish smile. No, are you a pilgrim? There are many religious pilgrims that make their treks up to the lighthouses. The views are meant to be very inspiring.
Oh, I just saw you at the door and I thought it was like restricted or closed for the night.
No, it is under my watch that I ensure that the lighthouse stays lit and is properly working. I sort of run the maintenance for it as well. It is my duty.
Oh. Well, that's wonderful. I was just wondering, I had just arrived and I am quite tired and just happened to be nearby. I had to know.
You are welcome to look if you wish.
Oh, sure. Um,
He kind of just opens the door to the lighthouse.
all right. She's going to head in.
You go up that winding staircase, occasionally glancing out some of the windows, the very narrow ones, just to see if you get some perspective there, but it's very, very tight. And it's harder to see over the hill until you get a little bit higher up. And once you actually reach the top and exit out onto the lighthouse balcony, you can actually properly see the entirety of the city below.
Whew.
They do
All right.
occasionally get flashed from behind as the lighthouse rotates.
All right. Two things. One, seeing if I could, with my eyes of the eagle, to see if I get a clear view of the fort.
All right. What's the distance that you see up to?
It doesn't say. That's the weird thing. It's like essentially here's the description. These crystal lens favor your eyes. Wearing them, you advantage on wisdom perception checks with eyesight on it. In conditions of clear visibility, you can make out details of extremely distant creatures and objects as small as 2 feet across. It doesn't say like the distance, but I'm like realistically thinking, okay, I can't see a mile or something.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I thought it would have a distance on it.
No, unfortunately, it doesn't.
Okay. So yeah, you use the eyes of the eagle. The fort is relatively easy to spot. Its layout and shape is not too hard to see. Using the lenses, you get a little bit more of a look into the fort. Based off the angle that you are looking into, you would be seeing it from like the northeastern side. So that tower where the entrance would be on the roof would be closest to you. So from there you could see some of the courtyard where you saw you see the training dummies that Vanya mentioned. You do see many different individuals moving about. Even from this distance, you can clearly make them out to be ferals with their iron masks. Many of them seem to be moving things about. It's kind of hard to tell really what is getting done, but there is activity going on. Even at this moment, there still does not appear to be any activity up on the fort walls, which you would have a decent angle at from here.
Okay. This is going to be an absolute stretch, but I feel like I might be able to do it. All right. So, I remember the distance. I remember sort of the layout of the fort from the outside from here. God, this is just like big brain time. All right, taking notes of this. So, okay, so from what I see from the details, I see the northeast side of the fort. And what else do I see?
You see the northeast. The northeast corner is the closest corner to you. So the clearest view would be the southwestern tower. You would see most of that side of the courtyard. So you would see, based off the angle, you wouldn't see too much, but again, you can see some activity of them moving about. From here, it's kind of hard to get any specific details on like the layout of the fort beyond like the rooftop that you were already given knowledge of.
Gotcha. Second thing I want to examine, see if I can see the other lighthouse and see if there's any sort of activity or, individuals there if I can.
Okay. The other lighthouse is in a pretty clear view from you here. It similarly is decorated in a very ornate fashion, but with a bit more of a sort of like a druidic touch to it in a way. There is a lot of like tree and leaf notations on it, I should say. And there is what appears to be possibly another paladin, also seemingly a watcher of this lighthouse.
I see. Okay, this is... How late is it?
By the time that you arrived, it was 8. It was taking you a little bit to settle in
Oh, it's
and
gotta be
distance to
super
travel
late.
up here, so getting closer to 9.
Okay, it's gonna be a walk. I'm gonna try this. I have a weird idea, but I'll see what happens. Okay, this is gonna be a weird... This is weird. Tell me if this is too much of an ass pull. No, wait, I don't know much of the fort layout, do I? So that wouldn't matter. Okay.
None of you really did any scouting into the fort. You saw, oh, that's a lot of ferals, and just fucked off.
So
Okay,
nothing about the...
I hate
Yeah,
to
we'll just kind of immediately note that.
Duo, I did talk with you about having to dip off an hour early, and it is about that time.
Okay.
So I'd assume the meeting and all that would take place in the next sesh, because I gotta go to sleep and I gotta take a test for work tomorrow.
Yep, you're good. We will
Awesome.
definitely get to that. You've still got the next day, essentially.
Rad. All right, you guys have fun with your reconnaissance and all that. I'm gonna go snooze.
Bye.
Take care. Sleep well.
Bye.
Night.
Hugs and kisses.
Bye. Okay, maybe it's not so bad, but all right, let me reset my brain thinking this. Okay. I'm just gonna take the notes on that, and then I'm going to leave the lighthouse. You said Bovine Dramphine or like Bovine Dramphinian?
Yes.
Noted. And I'm going to try to head over to the other lighthouse.
Okay.
And I'm going to, do the same thing, introduce myself, play as a curious sort of pilgrim, wondering if it is open this late or if it's restricted to the public.
You see a Tradewind Fox paladin. Armor looks different. Clearly not a Dramphinian.
Beast Mother.
Yeah, this is definitely a Pyrrhwind paladin. And looking them over, she gives you a nod and says that you need a view of the Springbok. You can take it from here. It's usually better in the morning. But
well, I just happened to stop by and I was curious, but
of course,
I do thank you.
It's no trouble. Just make sure not to mess with any of the lighthouse's mechanisms.
Oh, I won't. Going to head my way up there and get another look at the fort.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you see it from the somewhat similar angle because you're looking at it from the north. You just kind of change the degrees at which you look at it. And from there, you can more clearly see like the training dummies and some of the equipment that's kind of being moved about. A lot of the dummies seem to be being pulled away slightly, like they're clearing out the courtyard for a bit more room.
Interesting.
But
Ooh.
again, from here, it's really hard to see because a lot of the view is not going to give you anything into like the interior. You're just looking at the same area from a slightly different angle.
All right, noted. Yeah, just taking notes on that, and then I'm going to head out, thanking the guard, and return to lodging.
Mm-hmm.
And give an update. They are moving a lot of things. They're moving equipment and all sorts of things. They might be expecting more people. But I don't think it's safe tonight, but maybe in the morning we could do very quick like sweep reconnaissance. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to coordinate where I would get the best vantage point. I am wondering if potentially I can essentially there's a term. Trilateration. This is an ass pole.
Triangulation?
Triangulate?
Yes. Essentially trying. Look, being Etris, I'm smart with maths. Probably might need more equipment. Trying to coordinate like what angle I'm going to be looking into from the perspective of the outside of the fort to see where I would get the best vantage point into an opening.
I could try and help you with that.
It sounds like you have 2 vantage points already.
Yes, but the best one, well, it's being looked over, and if it's late, well, maybe if we know the time of it, it would help. I just don't want to go back and forth.
No, that does make sense. You want somewhere where you're not going to get looked at while you're looking, is what you're saying.
As soon as you say that. Okay, I'm going to have another plan. The lighthouses are sweeping. I just realized that could probably give away something, so I may have to lie low or conceal myself better.
I don't think there's anything else in Springbok taller than Fort.
Well, you know, it's going to seem strange if... Or maybe if I could do it further down.
It's going to look strange no matter where you go while you're up high. Either, like, if this is a late night meeting, you're going to stand out. It's just something that's going to happen. You're going to have to dress dark, you're going to have to keep quiet and look. That's basically it.
Noted. Might pick up some clothes tomorrow morning. All right. It's a plan. Did you want to go tonight, Vanya? Maybe not. There are a lot of people there.
No. I'm only going in that building if everything goes wrong with Vegas and Iggy.
We should maybe try during the day when there's more people about and we don't stand out.
I mean, being near it when everyone else seems to show up is probably a smart idea. But
we'll be better in the crowd.
We need to be... Well, by the sounds of things, I doubt there's going to be a crowd there. There's going to be a small trickle of people heading there.
Yes. I know. This is entirely risky. And especially with you, you're known.
Oh, I am not being out in the open. I'm sticking to alleyways. I'm sticking to roofs if I can. I'm not being in the open. It's just not happening. If I get seen, then everyone else is fucked. Because that definitely says that something's weird.
What about you, Vegas?
What about me?
If you could be able to scope out at least... see what the outside is like.
Do you want me to try and go in right now?
You might get pulled in.
Quick little adventure, in and out. I don't have to talk to anybody. I can just remember what I see.
My point is, I want to see what might be the best vantage point looking in. And I just want to know what the outside of the fort is like. The layout. That's all I need.
Again, you need a high vantage point, and I don't think there's other buildings in Springbok that are taller than the fort. That's what I'm trying to communicate to you.
Yeah. Yes.
If you can't see in the courtyard, then you're not doing the overlook we need.
You only see, like, one corner of the courtyard as well. Because, again, the walls of the fort are high enough that you're not going to see the other half.
Alright.
You're not going to see the northern side at all, basically.
Alright, overthinking it here. Alright, scratch it. But I will need to get some clothes for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, oh no, that'd be too small. Never mind. Yeah, we'll get you something. It'll be cheap enough. But I mean, you wouldn't be the first person to go up there and spend a stupid amount of time up there, I don't think. If someone comes up and asks, you just say you're kind of taking in the view.
Yes, I do agree. And
If you do get kicked down, then that happens, and we have to improvise from that. But
all right. Best to take too long than be caught sneaking in.
at least then you're just a tourist doing tourist things, not a spy doing spy things.
Or me doing Vegas things.
Well, then that's all for that. I'm going to need to work on my cards tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. This is going to be a very funny question, Duo.
Uh-huh. What now?
What's the range from the fort to the lighthouse?
That's gotta be a fair distance.
Well over 1,500 feet.
Clairvoyance is a mile. I have a plan. I will need to get materials for it, though.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's it.
Oh.
That sounds fun. Okay.
Oh
I like where this is going.
Range 1 mile, I'm not joking.
Yeah, I remember clairvoyance.
Oh my god. Alright. We'll worry about that tomorrow when I get materials.
Okay. So, what is the remaining plan for your night? If anything.
Well, other than potentially having to stall the actual meeting happening because priest being away, I can't think of anything. At least personally, I don't know about anyone else. Actually, could I try and just gonna get a layout of the streets? Change the shift weave to the darker clothes, not the one with the mask, just the darker clothes, and just kind of wander, essentially, but wander in a closer direction to the fort, but without getting anywhere too close. Like keep a block away at most, but then to track a route as if we were running straight to the wagons as quickly as we could. That way, I could remember it and maybe speed up our escape if we needed to.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'd say you'd be able to do that. Give me a perception check while you do so.
Okay, here we go. Yay! Finally.
Okay. With 21, you're going about tracing this route, just making sure that you have like the quickest, most efficient way to get back to the wagons. It does not take too long for you to like figure out the best way there. While you are making your way through, you catch note of music playing. Music that you were slightly familiar with. It is the familiar tone of the tuba playing brethren.
Okay.
It slightly draws your attention enough to warrant a quick look, and they're out playing near one of the Bethels, essentially just kind of like enjoying festivities with people. What catches your eye, though, is that amongst the crowd, like, enjoying the music, you see the two Dobermans.
Can I make out if they're enjoying it or if they're just kind of standing there and looking at him.
Give me an insight.
This isn't gonna go well. Nope. Hard to read.
Hard to tell from this distance. You would need to get closer.
I would like to, if I can.
Okay. Give me a stealth check. Because I assume you do not want to be seen by these people.
God, no.
25? Pretty good. Alright. Yeah, you get closer and closer, and all the focus seems to be kind of on the Brethren. And there's just kind of like a general sense of like merriment of people just kind of like enjoying themselves and such. And with a little bit more distance, you can see the familiar faces of the two Dobermen, one of which you are a bit more intimately familiar with. The one that removed his mask and spoke to you directly. From here, they seem to be rather chill. They don't seem to be plotting anything, or at least it doesn't look like they're plotting anything. They're just kind of like enjoying the music and the company that is currently happening.
Guy's probably too old to really... for them to really give much of a shit then. Just out of paranoia, I'm gonna shift weave for the mask being on, but staying wherever I'm hidden.
Okay.
I'm just kind of hang about for a little while, see if they leave. If they leave, I'll head back to the wagons. But the mask up just in case they look at me.
Okay. You rolled pretty good on stealth. You're pretty well hidden, and most of the focus is elsewhere. Eventually, after a bit, Roderick does finish his performance. There's cheers, claps. He eventually makes his way away from the Bethel, further into the city, possibly towards location to retire for the evening. The two Doberman individuals take a moment and spend a little bit more time there. It looks like they are partaking in some of the food before they both end up leaving as well. Oddly enough, as they start walking back, they kind of almost follow the route that you took back towards the fort.
Okay. So they're not following Roderick. They're heading to the fort.
Yeah, they seem to have no interest in him beyond listening to his performance originally.
Okay, because I'd throw hands if they did. That would be a quick run back to the wagon. They're about to beat up the nice old man.
I'm pretty sure you can motivate people to beat them up in retaliation for that.
Vanya comes back and is like, you
Yeah,
know
at
how
that point you'd have an excuse.
Yeah, Vanya comes back and is like, you know how I told him not to kill them? I've changed my mind.
Oh, those two were on the list of I don't give a shit. It's just like lower end members that are, yeah. Interesting that they're heading back to the fort, which, I mean, they seem pretty practical. I doubt they would do a stupid route like that. Yeah, I'll drop the shift weave for the mask, keep the dark clothing on, and then head back and kind of inform the group what I did and what I saw.
Alright.
So, should have a faster route back. As long as you keep close, we should be okay.
Alright.
Assuming it's necessary, which, let's be real, Vegas and Nikki have got this. It's not going to happen.
Damn right.
It's just, I want to make sure in case there's any other issues.
What were you thinking that could come up? Probably best to speak your mind.
I want to know as many names and faces as I can involved with the ferals.
I doubt you're going to see many faces. And
Well, you never know. Names
real
could be
names.
said.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll try and sneak some pictures if the opportunity presents itself.
Can you even do that without being noticed?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
Honest.
probably.
Staring.
like, do one now. See how obvious it is.
Okay. I'm assuming I just need to have the piece of parchment to do it, right?
Yeah, but you're still casting a spell, essentially, so you would need a
Right.
sleight of hand, kind of.
Just Metal Gear Solid 2 segment taking pictures.
Yeah. No, okay, so I take a piece of parchment, and I try and do the photograph thing on just what's in front of me, while I have the parchment stowed like beneath my waistline.
Okay. Again, roll me a sleight of hand.
Yeah. That's not great.
Vegas attempts to do this as subtle as possible, but even with you both knowing it's happening, it's pretty obvious when they try to take it.
It was worth a shot.
Can't help but throw up the peace sign every single time.
Yeah, and I have like a thumbs up in my field of vision at all times.
That's your somatic component.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. Okay. Not great. If a better opportunity presents itself, I'll think about it. But
Well, I
Yeah,
have
like
a
Vanya said.
spell, but it wouldn't last very long. Also depends. It takes a bit to start too.
I mean, it's something, right?
Yes.
feel like you should save your spell slots just in case.
I think
Well,
this
one-
is for tomorrow. Yeah.
That's for tomorrow.
What is it you'd be doing?
I have a spell where I would be able to observe them visually and auditorily. I have to switch between them. But
Oh.
eyes would be enough, and I could just once I give view of the crowd, I can just listen in, but I won't be able to see.
That's really good, actually.
The problem is it takes some 10 minutes to cast, and I can only hold it for 10 more minutes. So it's a shot whether I get very useful information and maybe some names, or I just get casual conversation with nothing to it.
Both are valuable in their own way. Small talk people might slip up with names.
I'm trying to do what I can to help.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been comfortable sitting back while you've all been going off doing your own thing.
I get that. I don't plan on going anywhere near there if I have to tomorrow, so. Everything goes well, we don't even have to be in there. Everything goes badly, we're running for the wagons and leaving.
I think it'll all go great.
I agree.
I hope so.
Duh.
And I'm sure Aspen would look forward to having to smack people in the face while we made our run, at the very least.
Duh, I do not have to kill them, but I can hit a few of them with the flat of the axe while we are doing the swift exit.
I mean, all goes well, we just go back to Pristana. last time on the boat, looks at Aspen.
You're doing so well. You're so brave.
I've been counting how many times I owe you, don't worry.
Okay, I thought we were going east if things went wrong.
If things go wrong, yes. If things go right, we can just go back to Pristana.
Yes. All right. Then to Louvain.
Yeah, through the gate.
All right.
If it goes
Good.
bad, then we go east and up through Dole into Louvain. But that's
You-
if it goes bad.
You know, because of that, there is just a little part of me that is rooting for this to go wrong.
Please don't.
Don't want to go on the boat.
We're going to have to go on the boat.
I mean, yeah, just one more time, at the very least.
I know. It doesn't mean I want to.
I'll make you a few of the things I was actually decent at. How's that sound? That stands for everyone else
Fine.
if they're interested too.
You're going to have to teach me more vegetarian dishes as well.
I mean, most of what you make already is just take the meat out and it's ready. Anyway. Is that it, Charlotte? Is that the spell you
That's
talked
all.
about? Is that all you can add to this? Other than your kind of points at the glasses.
I mean, I can also meld the stone, but again, that's way too situational, and there's risks, and it would be fun to sneak in and help if something goes wrong.
How confident that you could sneak into the fort? Because I wouldn't be nearby. I could help you if I could go in with you, but I really don't want to risk that.
Let's not do that. That would already start trouble before it happens.
You get caught sneaking in somewhere like that, you probably end up like I did. And
Yes, so clairvoyance will do.
I mean, is there anyone else that thinks they could go with Vegas and Iggy and not be immediately flagged as someone that shouldn't be there?
Absolutely not me.
Suffice to say, I'm a little too conspicuous to fill that role.
Funny if we could all change our faces, like. Ugh. Make things so much
Just
easier.
being someone else doesn't mean that you are now someone that belongs to the group.
No, but it doesn't. You know, you could be walking up on the fort and be told to go away rather than instantly shot at, like I think some of us might, if any of us.
I think at the bush I could already change my face. Just a bandana mask on the bottom half of my face and tie my hair back so you can see my eyes. No one would recognize me. Also, that's never happening.
that kind of giggle was entirely icy. Just a sort of a thumbs up. So, Iggy, and you, Vegas,
Yeah.
you're going as the same guy you went as to talk to the guard, right?
Yeah.
So that already helps a little because you talked to the guard directly and you kind of came off as sympathetic, maybe.
Hmm.
Do you have any other plans while you're there?
Do you want me to?
I kind of want to know your mindset going in. Yeah.
I'm going in. I'm making as little noise as possible, remembering as much as I can, and leaving. And I'll be home in time for dinner.
Who do you say you are if someone talks to you?
Harrier.
What do you do?
I'm a playwright.
What do you write? Do I know it?
I write plays.
I'm a locksmith.
So what plays do you write?
trying to remember if I said anything of the sort last time I spoke on this.
I don't believe you did.
No, I don't think he asked. Tragic comedies.
Do you have a name of any? Maybe I've seen it. I'm being serious here.
I was trying to think of something funny. Hold on.
You don't get to the Cloud District very often, do you?
Fuck it. All my feathers.
Oh my god.
Okay. What's it about? Maybe you'll jog my memory.
Shut up, man.
Look, you, this is important. If someone grills
This
you on
was
this shit, you're in
something-
trouble.
This was something my previous delving group leader was very good at. He would just make up whole identities and just be able to blend in places he sneaks into. It's practice. You can do good. Don't overshow yourself. Don't be a braggart. Be casual.
Okay, so never mind then. I wrote Sisterhood of the Traveling Pauldrons.
What's
I
that
mean-
one about?
Don't make me do this.
Is this like... Okay, maybe
It's
this
about a
can
group
work.
of clerics who all share a single pair of pauldrons. No matter how much distance separates them, they always fit. The end.
Strange, but I can see it.
How many of my sisters out there traveling they pants? Hands up.
Okay. Where are you from originally?
Our Loris.
Cool. Alright. And that's what you said last time.
Correct.
Look, even if it's absurd, they may not ask further. And that's good.
I wasn't very good at it, but people usually stop asking questions if you actually have a story. Something that can hold up with a little bit of scrutiny. If they look too far, then you're in trouble, but, you know, that takes a lot more effort.
And I can't imagine the odds of someone being really enthusiastic about such a play. No offense, that's actually fine. It's a good thing you didn't pick like an epic or one of those romantic tragedies.
No, but like, fast forward to the one dude that's like, holy shit, that's the fake, like, that is every blah blah, and I love his work. That's when I'm fucked.
The one theater kid in the crowd.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, it's you. You happen
Someone
to look
else I can share my
exactly like him.
hyperfixations with.
Do
That would
a
be
rapidly
devastating.
scribbling notes down.
Which of these characters would
That'd be-
be a theater kid?
Ugh.
Vegas would be a theater kid.
I would
Definitely Treyarch.
put one in this fort and see how that goes for Vegas.
Aramis was an actor. He's above theater kids.
Oh wow, rude.
That's something a theater kid would say.
Why are you with Iggy? Next question.
Why am I with Iggy? See, like, that's the thing. Iggy's been seen with me regular flavor than he has with me disguised. So I don't know what the excuse is there unless we just arrive at separate times, but I'd like to keep an eye on him and he on me.
Arrive
Well,
at the
you-
same time.
It's clear that you've been with each other a bit, so you just sort of know each other on something.
Oh, that's right. I mean,
Look, the whole point of this disguise isn't so much to keep you hidden from so the Ferals don't know who you are. It's more so that if somebody sees you that knows you through your SHL work, that they don't fuck your entire life up by saying that you were in the you Vegas were in the meeting of super racists.
I think
because
I
that
follow.
will end your career in the
Yeah, it will,
SHL.
I mean, frankly, yeah, it would. Will
Then
that make
say
me
that
very
you were just
sad?
going along. You were going along with Iggy, and Iggy led you to this, so that's going to be on Iggy. You don't know much of this, but I imagine they won't kick you out. Oh, I hope they don't.
Did you say you were always a playwright to this guy?
Yes.
The border collie? You were never a fighter in the war?
Wait, yes.
No, he didn't ask, and I didn't say anything about that.
Because
But-
you could use that as an if someone grills you on it, you could just use your actual experience. They want
That's
people
right.
that are scorned by the brethren, right? So
Sure, I mean, so what, would it make more sense for me to go not in disguise?
no, I still think that's a really bad idea.
Yeah.
But if you show up as this playwright that lost work to a brethren playwright, and you were a fighter in
That's
the war,
believable.
and you know, they only hired
Yeah.
the brethren because he's a brethren, and you didn't think much of his play, and you can make up some more bullshit around that. Distract them
Yeah.
with a believable lie rather than the lie that you couldn't reinforce.
It's a direction I could take.
I've seen you spin some pretty good stories, so I think you could make this up pretty easily.
Yeah.
So we talked to. So I guess the old plans of a couple of us going as ferals is the question then.
We don't have the stuff to do that.
I remember. Well, then never mind.
Well, the idea was to steal some supplies, but I don't think we could get in that fort easily, steal some stuff and get out without one of us being seen.
Because No, I don't want to ruin anything. I think I should stick with what I have.
What was the idea, just in case?
I could also be alongside Kali Vegas and Iggy.
Say you're recognized by Treyarch. You might not have known that he knew your family before.
If he knows who I am.
Is it worth the risk? You were someone pretty important around here.
It's been years.
But a trade lord family's dying is big news.
Looking to Vegas, saying, and we'll just sigh and say, I envy some of your spell capabilities.
Huh?
The fact you're able to just go in as, a different dog.
I agree.
Wait, no, but what were you asking me?
I just envy it.
Oh. I envy me too sometimes.
Shove.
Vanya isn't wrong, and I shouldn't reduce risk the chance that he would somehow know me.
I think, yeah, I'm of the mind that too many cooks spoil the pot.
You
We
have
should
a
have as
point.
few people in there as possible.
And if in the wild case scenario they see my clairvoyance, it should be seen as disconnected, not related to either you or Iggy.
Right.
Okay. Sticking with this clairvoyance, staying on that.
Alright. And then I guess outside team, being myself, Aset, Aski, and Aspen, since we'll be closer, because you're going to be up in the tower still, right? Or would you not need to now?
With well, I should still stay there because the spell will only take so long, and if it runs out,
Okay.
I do want to keep an eye one way or another.
Alright, so
I would
those
just
of
be
us
able
that
to
are
hear in.
closer by, do we just find somewhere to, I guess if there's a place to eat or something, just mill around like weirdos?
I could eat.
Well, more that you'll be in the fort.
Can I meet you guys there when we're done?
Assuming you don't get caught, sure.
Sick.
But I was more asking what the others thought about where we should be. If there's somewhere... Or do we just sit out in the open somewhere and just pretend we're enjoying the outside of it?
Indoors would be safer.
I'm looking to a set and Aspen and a ski for any sort of feedback.
The ski is AFK at the moment.
I didn't see that. Aspen and a set?
Out of character, I'm sorry, I was distracted.
It's okay. Basically being asked if... Obviously we're going to be nearby. It's just Aspen, Vanya, Iset, and Aski going to be nearby. Like, where should we be, do you think? In like a restaurant? Or just out on the street somewhere looking busy?
Yeah, you'll have to all be on standby while Vegas and Iggy go in, and I'm out at the lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find something inconspicuous to do, I guess.
I mean, what's the weather like?
Right now, it's nighttime, so...
Yeah, but what's the weather like?
It's
I
pretty
imagine
clear.
by the
Probably
So-
a decent amount of wind for it being, on the coast, but otherwise fairly clear.
But there's probably, in a place like this on the coast, there's probably restaurants that still have like outdoor seating, right?
Oh yeah, easily. Like the place that Aset and Veronica went to when they first saw the fort.
Yeah,
Okay.
that seems like our best bet. Is we can look
Mhm.
inconspicuous, but we can move fast from there.
Yeah, the nearby restaurant.
Okay. That sounds good then. Alright. Is there anything else that needs to happen tonight?
I have all that I need. Well, I'll get components in the morning.
What is it that you need?
Well, I'm going to need... Okay, now this is on DM rule. I want DM's word. So clairvoyance requires a focus worth 100 GP, either a jeweled horn for hearing or a glass eye for seeing. But it also says that when you cast a spell, you choose seeing or hearing. As your action, you could switch between seeing and hearing. Would I need both components or just one?
You just need the one component, because again, it says as an action you can switch between seeing and hearing. So as long as you have either component, you can do either thing.
All right. Easy enough. I'll just need a glass eye, a very pricey one.
That might not be able to be found.
We'll have to try. Otherwise, I'm going to have to
early
ride
morning.
the ferry.
That's not going to happen. That's a 4-hour
No,
trip.
yeah.
8 hours, you're not going to make it.
I should have planned that. I didn't think about it.
It happens.
I'll try tomorrow. If not, then that's just. I'll work from there. I'll work with the lighthouse.
Did you want someone with you, maybe?
Well, I shouldn't be in trouble. I'm not breaking in. Apparently, they allow people into the lighthouses. I don't think they'd mind me staying too long. I don't think anyone's going to come after me.
Yeah,
I think I'll be fine.
You just gotta make sure you remember a quick-ish route to here. I mean, I could do that for you and give you a little map, maybe.
Oh, I'd appreciate that.
Quickly runs outside.
This
Can I do
late?
this? Yeah, why not? I got low light vision. I can see.
Where you are?
I'm gonna go to the Dranfine lighthouse and then back here as quickly as I can. Basically, doing a quick route as best I can from here to from the lighthouse to where the wagons would be, so I can map it for Charlotte and give Charlotte that map.
Okay. All right. You head up to the lighthouse and head back, trying to figure out the most efficient way there. It takes you a little bit, but the path going on the way back down is much more clear because of your height advantage. And after a bit, you eventually return. The overall amount of time it would take for you to get from there down is about 10 minutes.
Jeez, okay. So if shit goes wrong, you've got to move right away. Is basically how that goes. And you
You will be
Alright.
very far
Map.
from the rest of the party.
I will take that risk.
The worst thing happens, you have one of the sending stones, and we can find you on the road to Bella Madre.
The most important thing is you don't die.
Yep.
No, wait. Maybe the lighthouse would be pointless. If we already have people in, what would it be looking for? Clairvoyance would just help me.
Fair.
You either you do, you don't.
Okay, no, I'm staying with the rest of you. I'm going to have the clairvoyance out, and I'm just going to monitor.
Final decision?
Well, unless they bring in a whole army, outside to the fort or something very strange happens outside, I should
Charlotte,
still
we
be
just
able
need to
see.
know where you're going to be tomorrow.
Okay. I've been overthinking this. Sorry, it's just
Yeah.
planning.
It's appreciated. We thought we had more time, but if you don't think you could make that run in time, the moment stuff starts going wrong, then it's probably for the best. You can do your spell from wherever we are, right? You
As
look
long
up
as I
the-
can see the fort.
Right, well, there you go. I think it was in eyesight.
All right. Then that's what's important.
All right. Grumpily scrunch his map up.
Alright. Well, if anybody needs me, I'll be on a moonlit run down the shorefront if there's like a beach to run down.
Oh, definitely joining you for that.
Where are you two
Unless
heading?
you want to go alone.
No, you can join me. Just like if there's a beachhead or like a shore to run down the coast.
Oh
of.
yeah, it's literally a coastal city.
Okay, sick. So yeah, moonlit training like that.
Gosh.
Vanya definitely outruns you, so she's the one ahead.
I'll outrun Vanya. Square
Yeah?
up. Yeah,
Yeah?
square up, Rocket Legs. Let's go.
Okay. So dash, double dash. That's 90 feet around. Good luck.
Yeah. No, I no, I like chop your ankles before we start running.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Sweep the leg.
All right. So you go on your little midnight run along the coast.
Yeah.
Coast is rather clear, ironically. There's nobody.
Tish.
There's nobody else out this late enjoying any of the coastal views or anything like that. So you make your run unperturbed. I assume eventually return back to the wagons to retire for the night.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Well. Comes the next morning. You all awaken. rather refreshed, but also anxious, knowing that this is most likely the night that things will be happening, and you're not sure how they're going to play out. Do you have any bouts of preparation you would like to do?
All right. Important thing is I seek out either 100 gold piece worth of jeweled horn or glass eye in town if I can.
Okay. Give me an investigation.
I'm going to enhance ability for
I
this.
was gonna say, can I aid that instead of you doing a spell slot, maybe?
Would that help? Look at the DM.
I mean, you two have wandered around the city together, so yeah, I'd say you could probably keep an eye out.
To make this more, I know I'm still going to spend a spell slot. I'm sorry, Vanya.
Oh, God, okay.
I'm using borrowed knowledge because I need whatever point I can get to get this. Otherwise, I'm going to be kind of stuck on wait mode. So that will get me a +3 to my investigation check.
Oh, it's only limited. Okay, that's cool.
+3 is 23.
23. Yeah, with a quick search around, I'd say you'd find a more peculiar kind of like antique shop. Not exactly what you would expect, but I'd say you'd be able to find one of the glass eyes there.
100 gold pieces worth, so that's coming out of the treasury.
All right.
Yep, I'll take it off.
Thank you. All right, I have the focus for it. Wonderful.
100.
100 even.
Okay, cool.
I am so happy now.
All right. Anything else to acquire, or any activities to do?
I don't want to make us too much of a... Actually, no. I think it will be good. If I could see the fort, that's what matters.
Challenge Aspen to an arm wrestling match.
Okay.
I'll referee.
Athletics checks?
I guess.
This is like a 3, 2, 1.
Oh boy.
Well,
Go!
shit.
I'd pick Aspen up and slam them to the ground.
Can you imagine 2 nat 20s?
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that goes in Vegas's favor. Aspen, you don't let it just immediately happen, though. They work for it.
Not used to arm wrestling, I'm used to real fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else?
Nothing
Or are
that
we
would actually
killing
need a scene.
time?
We're just killing time at this point.
Just killing time.
You guys want to have a real fast beach episode?
I'd rather not
Go,
be
go,
seen.
go, go, go.
10 minutes, in and out, beach episode, let's go.
No, we're gonna sit inside and we're just gonna have to wait because we can't be seen.
Everyone sprints into the ocean for a
Uh,
couple of seconds and comes back.
Vegas's spray tan stays on in his disguise.
It'll just be dipping.
Alright. Well, if there are no immediate plans, and we're essentially waiting for the activity to kick up in this fort and the meeting to go down, then I guess we will call it here, and we will pick up right into that scene at the very beginning of the next session,
oh boy.
Oh
which
yeah.
puts
Alright.
us into the beginning of the finale. So
Goody!
at this point, it is going to be a non-stop train going forward.
Alright.
All of the world can join in.
Not nervous at all, it's fine.
I can't believe you were trying to split the cleric from the party.
To be fair, that was
Very
me.
far. Yeah, you were like, yeah, I want to sit up on the lighthouse. I'm like, okay, well, both these perspectives can let you see the same corner from slightly different angles.
Yeah, I was overthinking like, all right, clairvoyance would be able to provide everything I needed anyway.
Yeah, if something went down and somebody went down, you would not get to them before they bleed
Yep.
out. That
Yep.
that would be way too far.
Just counting on no escalations happening.
Dua's like, that'll take 10 minutes. Wink, wink. And that's just to the wagons, not the fort.
Yeah, do you want me to go through 100 rounds for you to
Yeah.
get down here?
Devotion.
Gosh. Ugh.
Excited?
Outside team
Very-
sat there
yeah.
having nice food and chilling together, and then Iggy and Vegas going in Mission Impossible style. Because that's how I see Vegas's masks work.
About it.
Yeah, what would be really fucked is if Vegas ended up having to switch between his actual self and his disguise while in, like, you know, under disguise.
Of course.
I think I'd pass that with flying colors.
In any case, for the record, Aski thinks that like the infiltration plan in general is like just completely reckless when compared to the very easy ability for some of us to just eavesdrop on them. But she has not brought it up because she just kind of thinks it's funny that these people are going to cause problems.
See,
It
I
has been
love that
5
idea.
sessions without combat. Let me do this.
He's gonna fight his way out.
Gao sat there just vibrating. Let me kill
I'm
something.
stacking my dice. There's like scratch marks in my wall. Like I'm foaming at the mouth.
I'll throw combat at you if you want.
Oh
Please,
yes,
no.
please.
No.
Not when you're
No, but
separated.
only me.
This is how we find out you die.
You have such little faith in me.
Listen,
No, I
you
don't-
died in Dying Wish. You died in Heckna.
You technically died
Technically.
in Waterdeep.
Waterdeep.
Technically.
However
For
briefly.
all of like 4 seconds. It's
Not
fine.
even.
You don't get it. The universe knows that I made a fucking 3D model. They wouldn't make all that work go to waste.
You were tempting fate.
Tell that to Mighty Nine.
Right.
Yeah, I'll probably just make a new one if that happens. But, you know, fingers crossed.
Oh god. Nothing like a death in the party to unite the rest of the group, huh?
I won't die. Vegas will live. Vegas will make it to the end of this story.
We will see.
All right, bye, everybody.
Yeah, goodbye.
Good night.
Bye.